Hey, that thing's moving. Does that mean it's working?
They can hear us, but...
Can you hear us?
It might be the wrong mic still. It looks like it's almost peaking when we're not even talking.
Uh-oh.
We'll get this set up.
Sorry guys if you can hear us. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties, but
Just
bear with us.
Muted. Bay Area Eternal just started hosting.
Hey, thanks Bay Area Eternal, if you can hear us.
And now these headphones aren't working. Okay, I'm slowly figuring out. Okay.
You can hear us now? Great.
The previous people did a good job of effing up the stream. Excuse my language.
Effed it right up.
In the T. Okay.
Alright, well great. We're glad you guys can hear us, and as you can see, we're underway here at Legacy tonight at Paragon City Games. We've got two great players here, Paul on Lands and Michael Hinderrocker on Miracles, fresh off his trip from Kyoto, Japan for Pro Tour Hour of Devastation.
That's prestigious. Is this Molten Vortex on the left?
That's what it looks like to me, and it looks like we've got a gamble. Michael does have a few things in his hand, though. He's going to brainstorm. 3 cards coming.
Terminus,
Portent,
and Ponder.
Ponder was the 3rd card.
And he already has a Portent in his hand, and he has a Force of Will. Would you Force of Will a gamble?
I might just let the gamble resolve and try to...
With as few targets as you're going to get in a lands deck, like, you don't want to get their Dredge card.
True.
Life from the Loam.
Yeah,
so
you don't want him to hit a Life from the Loam, so you probably actually do in this situation just force the gamble here.
And that's what he does.
Yep.
Dropping down to 17.
Michael with the correct play, hopefully. And Paul passed the turn back. A draw step for Michael. Give the cards an old shuffle. Reaching for some mana. Maybe he's going to Portent. And it is a Portent.
He's going to target himself. You see what he saw there?
It looks like 2 lands and a Monastery Mentor, a Tundra among them. And he's going to give the deck an old shuffle. He's looking for something better.
He already has a Tundra, so...
Yeah, I think he's probably okay as far as his mana situation goes.
For a control deck, you don't really need that many lands in play.
No, I'm not sure actually what Michael would be looking for in this scenario.
Unexpectedly Absent would be a
Huge.
reassuring card to have.
Yeah,
or like a win con like Jace.
Jace?
I think I might go for a Jace.
Do you want a Monastery Mentor in this situation? I noticed he shuffled one away with that last Portent.
I don't think so, since there's that Molten Vortex on the field. Like, that's going to make it hard to have it stick.
Yep. And a draw for Michael. He does pick up a Monastery Mentor.
Doesn't seem too interested in it. Like, I'm just gathering that. Yeah, he's shuffling that back to the back of his hand.
He's got a Terminus floating in his hand. Without the top, though, that's sort of just stranded there until he can find another Brainstorm.
I think he could land... Oh, he sees another Monastery Mentor.
A counterspell and a second Terminus. So we'll see what he does here. I'm not sure how exciting any of these cards actually are.
I think I would shuffle that. There is an out of... eventually he can unexpectedly absent the Molten Vortex and then, like...
Try to just have a turn where he goes off with Monastery Mentor.
Or at least Portents it. He can get it off... Well, he can get it off the field and out of his hand permanently.
And then predict it away.
He could counterspell it eventually if he so felt like it. So Paul cycles his...
counterspell it, which he does have a counterspell in his hand. He's got Ghost Quarter, Tabernacle, Crop Rotation. I didn't see the 4th card.
I'm just noticing that I always pick a player and I start like...
Yeah, we've been so consumed with what's going on Michael's side of the board, we've kind of failed to even look at what's happening on Paul's side, but he's going to Ghost Quarter that Tundra.
Floats a mana correctly.
What do you think? Is it a white or a blue?
Oh, white. Is that a red?
That is a mountain. So Michael's got red pen in his deck. That's interesting. I flipped through the deck list earlier. I don't remember seeing red cards in his main deck. I know he's got them in his sideboard.
See that Life from the Loam, which I feel like is bad news for Michael.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a big problem card.
The Ghost Quarter comes back, and eventually I feel like that Ghost Quarter is going to
just become Strip Mine at some point.
Yeah, it's going to take a while in the Miracles
and
list.
He's going to hit the white mana, making sure to keep Michael off of Terminus and Entreat the Angels, and no Search. So it looks like Michael's out of basics, or he just doesn't want to shuffle his deck.
Yeah, those are both
but
possibilities.
He shouldn't know the order of the cards unless I missed something. I don't think he knows the order of his cards, so I think he's just out of basics.
Is this another Loam? It is.
He hits Punishing Fire, Crop Rotation, and it looked like a land. He's going to cast the Life from the Loam, play the Horizon Canopy that he just got back, play the Ghost Quarter.
Michael's pretty... He's getting closer and closer to out of this game.
He's, I think, about out of the game.
Yeah, he just scoops it up.
Alright, going to game 2, looking at the sideboards, it didn't actually look like Michael had very much for this matchup. He had a single copy of Surgical Extraction. But other than that, his sideboard is really geared towards other mid-range and creature-type decks. Doesn't look like he's going to be a favorite going forward in games 2 and 3. Whereas I think that a deck like Lands is just meant to prey upon this Miracles deck.
Yeah, it's like the bigger control deck, and it doesn't care if you counter any of its spells, it'll just end up making something so huge that it doesn't matter. And Paul is bringing in plenty of cards.
Yeah, Michael grabbed, it looked like 5 cards pretty decisively. It looked like he knew exactly what he was going for. But player of Michael's caliber, I wouldn't expect him to not know what to do here, or at least have a good idea of what he wants to do. So we'll have to see what he does.
I would kind of expect him to be more excited about taking cards out in this matchup than putting cards in.
That's definitely true.
But it looks like he has... Is that his whole sideboard up there, or just the cards he wanted? Because it looks like he has about 5 cards up there and 3 cards he wants to take out.
He's got 5 cards up there in the corner, and then more in the center of the playmat by Verdur's Gearholt's Hand are the cards that he's pulling out.
Yeah.
Paul, however, looks like he just has 15 cards on the table that he's looking to take in. He is ready for this matchup, I guess. Got a quick look at his sideboard too, and I didn't remember seeing anything too exciting for the matchup. He had some Reclamation Sages, some more lands in his deck. So we'll have to see what these players do in game 2. 2 decks that I'm largely unfamiliar with, so
I'm not... I know they're main decks, but the ins and outs of sideboarding, I feel like it's something that you have to be an expert on a deck to know how to sideboard with it.
Looks like Paul was looking at some Surgical Extractions. Looks like he's pulling out Crop Rotations. Deciding on it at least. I'm not sure, but it looks like Paul brought in at least 1.
Whoa.
Sean discovered the ergo lift on the desk today.
I think that makes the camera look a little bit better.
Yeah, that seems better. Is that alright with the stream? We don't care what you think. What do you think, though? It does look like Paul did bring in at least 1 Surgical Extraction.
I like it.
You like that in this matchup?
Yeah.
I'm not a lands player, and so maybe it's just unintuitive, but it just feels like that's not exactly what I want to do against a deck like Miracles. I guess what are you trying to target?
I feel like there's a lot of targets. Like,
They do have a lot of non-lands. They do have a lot of cards in their deck. 60 targets to be exact.
like even just like surgical your force of will, clear the path, or surgical your swords to plowshares, surgical your
Okay, that's a
terminus.
big one. Swords to plowshares or terminus. Those are big hits when you're trying to win with a single
Miracle's
huge
no longer
threat.
Miracle's no longer usually plays the full 4 terminus. It's usually down to 1 to 2. We know he at least has 2 because that's what we saw.
I'm pretty sure Michael's playing the full 4 here today. So we'll have to see. Alright, well we're here, we're underway, and Michael's going to start off fetching a basic island for a ponder. How do you feel about immediately fetching your basics against a Ghost Quarter deck?
It's also a wasteland deck.
They do also have the wastelands, so I guess you're just hedging your bets, right? It could be Ghost Quarter, it could be wasteland.
And if you're gonna pop it, I don't know. I didn't see the entire rest of his hand.
Mox Diamond.
How many white cards did he have?
Discarding a Bajuka Bog. Taiga and Life from the Loam, getting back the Bajuka Bog.
Huh.
Seems like a good start. Turn 1, starting with one of your most powerful engines. I think in this matchup, one of the most powerful engines. I think Miracles might be one of the decks suited to fight those really explosive draws from the lands deck, you know, where they just make a mana bonds on turn 1 and just barf their hand onto the table. Miracles feels like the deck that can handle that. So
yeah,
I think starting here with Life from the Loam is about as strong as it can get for Paul. Fetching us with the Scalding Tarn for Michael. Let's see what he goes and gets.
it is putting
The mountain.
It's putting his engine in the graveyard turn 1.
Yeah.
So if there's another surgical on Michael's side,
Yeah, and so if Michael has the surgical, that is rough.
we
but
could see game 3 pretty quick.
fetching a mountain, because I have a feeling that Michael did board in the wear tears in his sideboard. That seems like a good one.
Ooh.
There it is for that Mox Diamond. Also can hit the mana bond.
Explore, or exploration.
The exploration, I was going to say Sulfuric Vortex. That's not the card. I always get them confused.
So he just milled 2 Sulfuric Vortex, and I don't know what that middle card is. No, or exploration. I say Sulfuric Vortex.
Yeah.
I think I just echoed what you said.
You just echoed what I had said. But he hit 2 explorations there, which I think you do rather have those in play. Looks like there's a crop rotation in Michael's hand, among others. And a third fetch for Michael. Fetching not a big deal against the lands deck when there's not really a difference between 17 and 20 as far as your life goes, but a Blood Moon. There's a big one.
That's a great reason to play that mountain.
That's a great reason to have been fetching basics too. So
yeah,
there we go. Michael, 2 steps ahead of us. You know, and I knew he had the Blood Moons in his sideboard.
Yeah,
we knew that. We
didn't
just
peg him on it.
So there's the Bajuka Bond.
By we, you mean you?
Michael's land getting... Michael's graveyard getting exiled.
Is it exiled? It looks very much right side up.
Well, I mean, he could have just not touched it. We'll make sure that that's correct going forward. Or Paul missed his trigger there. I don't know.
The brainstorm.
Brainstorm for Michael. 3 cards coming.
Does the Miracles deck even care about its yard?
They do have Snapcaster Mages, I
Snapcaster
believe,
Mage.
right?
Yeah, and with that wear tear, it could be relevant.
2 going back, putting back a Swords to Plowshares underneath the other card. So it'll be interesting to see if Michael thinks he wants to shuffle that Swords to Plowshares away.
So it does look like a missed trigger on that Bajuka Bog.
And to predict, he's going to name Swords to Plow... Oh, Terminus was the card.
He just tapped
the Terminus was the card over the... his fetch land is under a Blood Moon.
Oh, okay. I was like...
The Blood Moon! The Blood Moon!
Okay.
That's why there's no Bajuka Bog.
Oh.
There's a Blood Moon in play. The Blood Moon we were just talking about.
Onboard effects are the hardest thing in Magic. I can't tell you how many times we're like, why isn't he playing Dark Ritual or Ponder? And there's like a chalice on the field. Okay, we figured it out.
Pardon our stupidity, chat. A mountain coming down for Michael. And a mountain coming down for Paul. It's a mono red Stompy here with some islands. And another mountain for Michael and a pass of the turn. Paul drew a mountain for the turn.
Paul has to find...
he needs to find one of the reclamation sages. I'm
Mox
sure
Diamond.
he could have.
He has
or
Croson
Mox
Grip.
Diamond.
He has Croson Grip in hand.
He does have Croson Grip in hand. Okay.
Yeah.
The lands deck plays what? One basic forest? Maybe? I
If
don't know.
that.
I'm sure they play a basic. I'm sure they do.
They got it. What if they
So
get
it looks
past
like
the exile?
this Blood Moon just might be what takes this game for Michael. He feels really far ahead unless Paul can peel a green source.
He only has 9 turns left. That's a long clock, though.
And a mountain for Paul and pass the turn. See if Michael has any action. It's just another ambush viper. Let's see if he's got anything to flash back. A brainstorm. So three cards coming here on Paul's end step.
Terminus.
Tundra and a monastery mentor.
Yeah.
2 go back. See if he wants to use that terminus. I don't think so.
Yeah, definitely not.
Island. Ponder will be the play for Michael. Looking at 3, counterspell among them, and he's going to shuffle.
Chat understands everything but onboard effects.
Yeah. Gibson. I'm going to call you Gibson. Gibson. Yeah, it's not even close to how that is.
Gibosum?
Gibosum? Gibosum. You're right, Gibosum.
Testing our reading.
Well, see, that's what it was. We were just trying to make sure that chat knew what was going on. We were testing you. We knew the Blood Moon was there.
I didn't.
We knew. We just forgot about it. We just gotten done talking about it.
Give us some.
Looks like game 2 is going to go to Michael. That Blood Moon, really powerful. And
Give
basic
us
mountains aren't as good as Dark Depths. Turns out. Turns out Paul can't win with basic mountains.
The Wear Tear was equally as huge as...
The Wear Tear was very powerful.
Equally as huge as the Blood Moon, because it shut off that Mox Diamond, so it protected the Blood Moon. That was a pretty cool game.
That was just very good sequence of spells from Michael, and just really not a lot that Paul could do there. He did need to find his basic forest, which I assume he has. I'm pretty sure lands play at least one basic.
I'm going to go to MTG Top 8 and kind of...
Give us some. I like that. Give us some. Give us some. Can you tell us, do lands deck play a single basic?
Because chat knows everything.
Come on, chat. You're better than us. You know. You should be here.
Do we call this lands or loam?
We call it lands. Loam is a different deck.
Okay.
Those are like the neither reliquary decks.
There's a forest.
There is a forest. Yeah, lands plays a single forest. So those were Paul's outs. He had some Mox Diamonds or a basic forest that he could find. Try to get him back in that game. Well, shoot, give us some. Why aren't you in the booth? Sounds like you're going to be the expert on the lands deck here. So, chat, anything we say, just defer to give us some. Because he probably will be more right than we are. Alright, well, we're underway in game 3.
I could just be like his puppet, and I'll just repeat everything he says.
It'll be a Misty Rain Forest for Paul. Let's see if he goes straight for that basic forest. I imagine that's what he's going to do.
There it is.
For anyone in the chat, though, who doesn't know, Jarvis Yu and David Long are 2 of the better lands players, I think, that walk among us. So, I might be wrong, but Jarvis Yu, I believe, won a Legacy Grand Prix with lands, or at least had a deep top 8 run. Gibson can probably tell us what the answer is, but there's the Mox Diamond discarding a Wooded Foothills. So it looks like Paul's going to be in pretty good shape going forward against the Blood Moon.
The Devil Jin, thank you for following.
Alright, cycling a Sheltered Thicket here for Paul. One of the includes from Hour of Devastation in this new deck. I think probably the only include from Hour of Devastation.
As a one of.
Yeah, but a powerful one of being able
Definitely.
able to cycle your lands is really
With
strong.
Life from the Loam, it just adds draw a card onto that. And there we see the Life from the Loam.
A very powerful engine now that Paul has going here. To Michael's Scalding Tarn. Not much happened as far as the board goes, but it already feels like Michael's just very behind. His primary game plan is probably that Blood Moon, and with the basic Forest and the Mox Diamond in play, not even a Wear Tear into a Blood Moon is going to be able to really lock things up for Michael.
He's not going to get that lock, but
no.
It's only turn 2, and the Miracles plays to draw the game out. The lands deck also does, but he has a Swords to Plowshares in hand, so
that is true. The Swords to Plowshares will be
he can withstand at least one Dark Depths combo.
Unfortunately, though, for the Miracles deck, they do want to go long, but I think that this is the one matchup that they don't want to go long in.
Yeah.
I think the lands deck will just go longer better. Yeah, Jarvishu was runner-up in GP Seattle with lands. Both two very good players, and Paul, not too shabby himself here on camera.
Oh, he performs every week. He performs really well. I don't think it's just that he's playing lands either, which is part of it.
He crushed me last time we played with Death and Taxes.
He's been playing this deck constantly since at least I've started casting, and that's been at least 3 months, and he's just really proficient with it.
So it looks like there's going to be 2 fetches for Michael. He's just going to shortcut through this. Let's see what he gets. I'll be curious at this point how much he... Paragon City, we're in Draper, Utah.
It was just south
of all places.
South of Salt Lake City?
Yeah, it's South Salt Lake area. We've got a pretty decent legacy scene up here, which is surprising for this part of the country. It's really hard to find good legacy around here, but you can find it every...
For any part of the country, I hear that...
Well, except for
there's states without a legacy scene.
Yeah, there are whole states.
Well,
but
yeah,
if you go out
the part
east
of the coast where there's just millions of people... yeah, you can get 10 of them together.
The most densely populated area of Magic players. Yeah, there's legacy people
I bet you California has some legacy players, too.
Well, you know what? We're fortunate to have legacy out here.
That's what, yeah.
Every Tuesday and every Friday, you can find us here playing legacy at Paragon.
And Paragon always has pretty much every format going.
Oh, yeah.
We fill the store every week, at least 70 people.
We've got standard, modern.
I've heard a couple
draft pods going, legacy.
Have you heard of other stores complaining?
Commander.
Other stores complaining that their attendance is going down while Paragon is just exploding.
Yeah,
like it's just such a nice store.
Yeah, very very well run.
So there's a Monastery Mentor.
Let's see what Al's got. He's just going to cycle that Sheltered Thicket again. You think he's going to dredge here on upkeep or in his draw step?
He doesn't have a burning, or what is it? Grove of the Burn Willows.
Oh, and it looks like Michael is going to Surgical the Life from the Loam.
On upkeep? Yeah.
Before
so we're going to see a look at his hand. There is a Grove of the Burn Willows, so I think he would have dredged that looking for a Punishing Fire.
Yeah. He also does have the Merit Lage and a Ghost Quarter along with a Taiga.
And he gets his Monastery Mentor trigger.
Yeah. This is actually pretty big. Unfortunately, that Tabernacle is going to do some work on Paul's side, which means Michael's going to be limited on how many monks he can create.
The Monastery Mentor is legendary?
No, but there's a Tabernacle taxing... The Tabernacle's
going to tax
Michael's
I thought it
mana.
was the other one. Caracas.
Oh. Both two obscure Legends cards with similar artworks.
Yeah, it looks kind of white. That doesn't actually tap for any mana, but...
The difference, though, is the Tabernacle is at Pendrell Vale, and I don't know where the Caracas is, so...
At Caracas.
That's one of those snobby ones I like to get people with when they try to say the Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. It's at, alright, guy? It's at Pendrell Vale. Get it right. Looks like there's going to be an exploration. That is an exploration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a Ghost Quarter. Probably going to go after the White Source. Hitting the... Or he's just not going to use it.
Doesn't have any other actions, really?
No, just the lands. And it looks like he had picked up a... Salty. So salty.
He's thinking about going for that island. How's Salt Lake City?
awesome.
I try to stay out of Salt Lake City.
We live up north about 30, 45 minutes from
There's
here.
too many people for me.
It's very condensed, very packed. The air quality's terrible.
That's all of Utah, but Salt Lake City is especially bad. If you come here in the winter,
You can.
have you seen pictures of like China where it's just foggy? We get that on a yearly basis all the time.
Yeah,
We have the worst. We have the worst air in the United States.
Yeah. It looks like Michael is just going to pay for the monastery mentor here, letting one of those monks hit the bin, and the blood moon comes down, which is a reprieve from this tabernacle for the time being. It means that Paul's going to have to try to find some action.
That's in reaction to the blood moon, I assume.
It looks like Michael is just getting pretty fast, but I'm going to give Paul the benefit of the doubt that...
but with the Salt Lake Temple and like City Creek and stuff, there's some pretty nice places to go in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, the Mormon temple here, the Salt Lake Temple, is beautiful. There's a lot of great scenery out here.
What industry is polluting air in Utah? It's the cars.
It's the fact that we live in a valley.
Yeah, there's the mountains on one side of us, and the air will push up against those mountains, and so the air has nowhere to go until there's a storm that can push it over the mountain.
And it all just condenses down in the valley. So, looks like not much happened on Paul's side, and it'll be a portent from Michael, triggering his monk tokens. Got the dice there to indicate the prowess.
I just noticed your name, Lucksack Delver Flip.
That's how you play Delver.
Yeah.
I get in the arguments all the time with people who are like, oh, you don't play the turn 1 Delver, you ponder your brainstorm, you set it up, and you just jam the Delver. You just jam it, because you're going to flip. You're going to flip that Delver every time.
You're playing, like, what, 12 creatures? And the rest are, like, instants?
You got some lands in there, too.
Irrelevant.
I mean, you've only got, like, I think 32 hits. That's how I live my life. I like it. You, sir, are my new idol. I never miss. I'm not lucky enough to hit with my Delvers. Except for when I am lucky. And there's the Croson Grip, so that's going to be a big play.
The only time I've ever played Delver is when I borrowed your deck. In Pauper.
Pauper Delver is a blast. And he's going to pass back here to Paul. Let's see what Michael does. Looks like a brainstorm on end step. Getting another monk token. Curious if he's just going to pay 4 here and...
Force of Will. He has 3 Swords to Plowshares now.
Wow. So let's see what he does with this tabernacle. If Paul remembers to put his tabernacle triggers on the stack, which it looks like he is, and Michael's going to pay for 3 of his creatures and bin 1 of the monks. He'll take a draw step and find the 4th Swords to Plowshares?
No, that's the one he took.
Oh, that's the 3rd one. And he's got an Engineered Explosives.
Puts it on 1, triggers the...
To be able to kill the Exploration.
Did he tap his mana for that?
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Oh. It looks like he just played it for 0 just to get a trigger.
Oh, okay.
Wow. There we go. Michael Hinderrocker with the win there.
Okay.
In what we think is a pretty unfavorable matchup for him.
Oh, I haven't been
found a
keeping
way
track
to
of the wins losses, but
he found a way to find the W through what looked like a really good start from the lands player. He had the insurance for the Blood Moon. He had the Tabernacle to tax the mentor tokens. But Michael found the line.
Yeah.
Good old 0 spells.
Miracles is a thing.
I believe it's very powerful, and we're going to jump over now to...
Tabernacle isn't the lands player's trigger, to remember, so that you know. Yeah, it's the person who controls the creature.
The creatures? Okay.
So if...
That makes sense.
So what does it look like?
Well, fortunately for me, my opponents have always reminded me of their Tabernacle triggers.
Really?
Yeah, all my lands opponents that I've played against have always like, hey, Tabernacle.
What is that creature on the top right? That kind of
That's
looks...
a Mother of Runes?
Top right.
Oh, that's
goes in to look for a 6 power...
Fierce Empath?
Fierce Empath.
Yeah, it's a Fierce Empath. So it looks like we've got...
Nickfit on the right against something?
Nickfit or Maverick versus... oh my gosh. The combo deck with the Griffs. Like that, you exile.
Oh, yeah,
What's
yeah.
that card called? I'm totally blanking here.
Food chain.
Food chain. Duh. Yeah, it's
I
food
tried
chain.
to look at the ceiling. It's written. No, I'm kidding.
So it looks like food chain versus Maverick or Nick Fit or.
And it's the store owner is actually
Yeah.
on the left.
Yeah, the store owner is on the left. I don't know his name though.
Is it Brian?
Bryson? Somebody. Store owner on food chain versus guy. Let me go get names.
Okay. I'm putting these back on the right side so the chat doesn't yell at me. I like store owner better. Okay, I'll put it on Brian. I knew that was his name.
Bryson? Or Brian? Yeah, Brian. And then Ryan is on Dark Maverick.
Did I mix these up again?
I don't think so. No, you got it right. You got it right.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Food chain.
Oh,
Food chain.
your hand's in the way.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I can do this.
Yeah, you had it right.
And what is it? Bryson?
Ryan.
Ryan? Bryson? Dark Maverick?
Yep. Dark Maverick.
I don't know if that's how you spell Maverick. But that's how I'm going to spell it. And we're not sure what the wins losses on this is.
I guess I should have asked that when I was out there, huh? But
Maybe.
I sometimes don't think about things. We're very professional here in the booth, you know. And it looks like he's going to smash in with his Deathrite Shaman for Ryan. Got that sword on it.
Probably going to eat that Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
I think
here
it's
if
going
you're
to jump
Brian,
in front.
do you just block?
You gotta.
You just block,
It's
right?
dying one way or another.
Exactly, and you don't want him to draw that card.
Unless he has another plan. Right? The only reason you wouldn't is if you had a different plan for protecting your creature or killing his or something, right?
Yeah, and it looks like Brian is just going to block.
Maybe.
Foiled food chain deck.
Yeah.
I like the basics, but I'm not a big fan of whatever those atrocities are next to his forest. Looks like a polluted delta and a misty forest. So he's gonna block.
The expeditions?
Yeah.
You don't like those?
They nasty. Ooh. Looks like a something. Is that a fatal push? Yeah.
He's gonna give it
And
protection.
He's gonna mom it, and he's going to lose.
Both the fatal push and the creature.
So was that a misstep on Brian's end, or does he just feel like he's in such a bad spot he's got to hope his opponent just misses?
He's got to have something. Like, he just wants that mother tapped.
Oh. Yeah, let's see if we can see what else is in his hand. Looks like a blur of foil and a bayou.
Magic cards.
And a tropical island as well, but he's reaching for something.
Expedition.
That's a verdant catacombs. Give the cards a little shuffle, see if they change. Nope, still the same.
It looks like another fierce empath is the only thing I saw.
Yeah. He's just gonna shortcut a little bit here, fetch himself down to 19. He was at 21.
Must have seen an activation from that.
Deathrite Shaman.
Shaman. Island. Different art islands?
Yeah, that's pretty much just cancer. But at least one of them's a beta, so we're alright. And it is going to be the Fierce Empath, and he's going to go tutoring. Looking Brian will go. I'm not super familiar with this deck. It looks like he's grabbing the Gurmag Angler, yeah.
It looks like an alt art Gurmag Angler that...
A foil alt art Gurmag Angler that...
what's his name? Bryce?
Bryce, yeah, that Bryce did.
One of our other casters for Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, our Tuesday caster, Bryce. He does some really brilliant altars. Makes it tough here. I almost wanted to call that a Grim Haruspex. It looks kind of like the promo Grim Haruspex, but that card would not be in Food Chain, right?
I didn't know what this card was, so I went and looked it up. Morph. When another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. Okay, so it's not a terrible card.
You played it in your Rally the Ancestors deck back in...
I didn't. Alright, so he must have just been hoping he was going to top deck a kill spell. And he was just like in a bad enough spot that he's like...
Yeah, he just probably...
Earthquake.
Don't the camera, please. And he's going to swing in with that Deathrite Shaman, and the Empath's going to go in front of it again. And a pass of the turn. Not much else going on Ryan's end of the board. It looks like he just has 2 cards in hand. Can't quite see what they are.
I think that's another Deathrite Shaman for Brian. I don't think that's what he drew, but I saw one in his hand.
I'm going to take a look at that nice unlimited volume.
Compare it to his own.
Is that, or is that just revised? Maybe that's just revised and it's just in a near mint condition as opposed to the faded, revised lands I'm used to looking at.
Yeah, he's got some nice stuff. Except for all those non-matching arts.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on, Brian. You've got your foiled food chain and then you've just got the one...
What is
Maybe
that?
it has sentimental value.
Massacre Worm!
Here comes a Massacre Worm.
So that'll take care of...
Oh, wow. This is going to take care of everything.
No,
not the Deathrite Shaman.
It won't kill the Deathrite Shaman, but it can at least block it now.
It'll kill the Mother of Runes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to block the Deathrite Shaman.
And the Mother of Runes, when dying,
looks like
is
they're
going
having
to...
a rap battle down on the field trying to figure out how Massacre Worm functions, I guess.
For every creature that dies, its controller loses 2 life. So Ryan takes 2.
And it looks like he's got Dryad Arbor, Abrupt Decay, and Green Sun Zenith in the hand for Ryan. He's going to give those a quick shuffle through and try to figure out what the play is here.
I don't believe Massacre Worm cares if it's the one that killed it. So now everything he plays has a possibility of, okay, I play this.
Yeah, the Massacre Worm.
Every time the...
2 cards come... Oh, it looks like Brian's going to be nice and give him his library trigger. And he's looking at, I think, another Mother of Runes and a Batter Skull.
Well, this one does.
I don't either, but Brian's doing it.
I think it's a sideboard card, actually.
He probably knew he needed to kill a Mother of Runes in this game.
It's... No.
No, he's definitely playing Food Chain. He only plays Food Chain.
Yeah, and
I can't imagine a Bugnik Fic deck.
Oh, I can imagine it.
Want? Well, I guess it would want I guess it would want Fierce Empath, huh? You just want to fetch up your big monsters.
Yeah. Usually there's other targets, but
I don't know. Maybe Brian's changing it up on us.
I think it's a sideboard card for Food Chain.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian's one of those players that likes to think outside the box.
I think, yeah, I think you get rewarded by brewing a little bit. And
someone says it definitely plays Worm main. Maybe we're just not as familiar with our Food Chain lists as we should be.
Time GG top 8.
What in the heck?
What?
Oh, that's just a germ token. I thought he was casting that spell, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's a different color sleeve and everything.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
not.
what gave it away. But
haven't seen that card since.
Haven't seen that card since Standard when I was snapcastering it.
Woo! So it's spicy.
It'll be a tropical island for Brian.
Was that the Bant list that's doing that?
Yeah, Bant with all the fun things. He's going to go reaching for some mana, and it's another Gurmag Angler. Delving away the graveyard, and a Deathrite Shaman. So that Massacre Worm did a really good job of kind of getting Brian back into the game. This Batter Skull, though, will that be problematic if the sword goes onto it? A 6/6?
He's got enough chump blockers, and at some point Brian's just going to combo out.
It trades with the Massacre Worm, so at least helps him break through that. And then Brian is kind of face back with the problem of the just putting the equipment on the Deathrite Shaman. Like, Ryan just makes a bigger creature here, and if Brian can't find attacking here, getting feisty.
Yeah, I think he's just planning on blocking with
just chump blocking
with the little guys.
And it looks like a double block for Ryan.
So I think he's going to eat both of these creatures, and Ryan is going to take 4. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he remember his trigger?
Yep, looks like... Nope.
Nope, that's a fetch.
So, fetching away with that Windswept Heath.
If you wanted to run out there, you could, but I'm not going to force you.
Well, this is just... We are just judging it regular, so it's not like... That is a mistrigger.
Okay.
It wouldn't... It's...
I know nothing about judging.
I don't know either. I'm just saying stuff.
Oh, Batterskull has Lifelinker.
Negated it. There it is again.
With the onboard effects.
Missing the onboard effects. Yep, they cancel each other out. Because 4 and 4
everything.
makes 0. You know, we said it earlier when we missed the Blood Moon on board, turning off all of the lands. We were so confused when the Miracles player was tapping his fetch land for mana, and we realized the Blood Moon in play that we were just talking about was still in play.
This is usually why I favor just sitting here and not like helping them, because
see, they know.
When Eric was streaming with me, he would run out there all the time because he's a judge and he can't stand to watch.
He has the power to do that.
Yeah, he can't stand to watch Magic played improperly.
And see, I just play improper Magic, so I...
Counter your spell, regenerate it!
That regeneration gets me every time. So, looks like Ryan's reaching for some mana here. Is he thinking about the Green Sun Zenith in his hand? That's what I'm going to guess. Trying to figure out how he's going to tap. And it looks like a Green Sun for 4.
No, that's...
Oh, he's just suiting up the Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, it's got pants on pants on pants.
Yeah. And a chump block from Brian. And like I was saying, Ryan's game plan here to just make a bigger threat than Brian can handle. If Brian can't find the combo pieces he needs, he looks like he's in a lot of trouble.
He could have some other spicy cards to go search for, though.
He could. And let's see. I can't tell what he's got with the library. I just see a blur, and a blur.
Shiny blur, shiny blur.
Yeah, glare, glare, glare.
Oh, he's taking all of these.
He's just going to get all those cards. He found something. Fatal Push.
Fatal Push.
For the Deathrite Shaman.
Doesn't care how big your creature is.
No. Powerful card.
Doesn't even give you anything for it. It's just like...
Powerful card.
Sparta Kick?
Yeah, and nothing really to do here as Ryan just throws it away. So he just left a Savannah up. And there's nothing in the graveyard anyway that's relevant to exile. I guess he could have exiled a creature.
He could have.
There's a Deathrite Shaman in the graveyard.
He could eat the Dryad Arbor.
He could eat the Dryad Arbor. He could also eat the Deathrite Shaman, gain 2 life.
Yeah.
Curious though, he just left that mana unused.
He's already at 22, so I don't know. That looks like it's turns in the round? I assume if that's what that...
I'm assuming what that
strange black square
that we can't tell what it is probably... It did sound like they just called time in the round.
I think that's one of these Tarmogoyf dice.
Yes, it is. It's the black one.
Yeah. And it...
They are on turns, and in comes the Gurmag Angler. He's going to AD the library?
Anno Domini.
Or bounce.
Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay. We know the Abrupt Decay is in his hand.
It's not Anno Domini?
Oh, and...
Welcome back, Jorgensen.
Evening. And to 8, Brian will go as he fetches.
So that's the food chain, right, on the field?
Yep, that is the food chain.
It almost looks black.
The namesake card, well, it's just an old foil. There's the food chain. Gonna exile the Gurmag Angler.
He has
get a bunch of manas, and let's see what it is. A big walking ballista?
Yep,
There it is.
Huge walking ballista.
Six?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, I think Brian's feeling pretty good. He looked like he was in pretty dire straits for a minute and was able to crawl his way back out quite impressively this game.
Was he sick or something?
I don't know.
I
I'm assuming so. Alright.
don't think I've spoken
Maze
with him
of
in like
Ith.
2 weeks.
Unfortunately, the Maze of Ith, not that good against the walking ballista.
No.
I mean, Brian's got a long way to go before that walking ballista is big enough to kill Ryan, but an abrupt decay, though, for the walking ballista is going to force Brian to just shoot Ryan for 6.
I heard he had surgery. I don't know a lot about it, though. He's feeling good enough to play some Magic today and do pretty well.
So it looks like Ryan's going to fall to 11, the abrupt decay, taking care of the walking ballista, and he's going to replay that batter skull.
Yeah, this is definitely stronger,
Here
Brian.
comes the worm germ token, the green-white worm germ. Gonna go looking with the library. Found a Baleful Strix. It looks like a Brainstorm and a blurry foil. And I couldn't tell what it was. Looks like he just is interested in one of those cards, and it was not the Brainstorm.
But if you're at 8, don't you just take the damage? Are you really afraid of... he doesn't have any creatures out,
He doesn't
I
have
suppose.
anything to block the batter skull. Oh, there's a big, massive Genesis Hydra. So he's going to go looking at a bunch of stuff, and he finds Baleful... Oh, there's the, what's his thing? The combo piece with Food Chain. I can't remember.
Mist Hollow Griffin.
Yeah, that looks like the Mist Hollow Griffin. Right? Am I wrong, Chad?
Oh, that's definitely Mist Hollow Griffin.
Okay. I can never remember what it's called, but I know, like, that's the one that kills you with Food Chain. So, but Brian just needs to find a win condition, though. He can make infinite mana.
And it can't be a win condition that he has to attack with.
Right, because that Maze of Ith is going to shut that down. So he really needs another walking ballista here.
Thalia...
Tithing Needle.
That's not Leovold, is it? No. What is that?
Yeah, R. Jorgensen. I'm just going to call you Jorgensen.
Yeah.
Brian plays some pretty unconventional cards. He's one of those... He likes to think outside the box and make it spicy. Rallier. Oh, Renegade Rallier. Is that the name of the card? Or is there another Rallier? There is a Renegade Rallier. I don't think that's the Rallier I'm thinking of, though. Renegade Rallier is a 1, a green, and a blue.
With the Revolt?
From Aether Revolt. Yeah. That's not the card, was it? No, it was... Because he found a white card.
No, I think that's what the...
Oh, that was what that was. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. So it was Renegade Rallier. Maybe?
That seems like it would fit in a Maverick deck.
Yeah,
great.
That's interesting. Buy back one of your permanents? Powerful. Cool. Well, thank you. I did not recognize it. I did. I didn't recognize it, but I called it the right thing by mistake. I called it Renegade Rallier, and then I went, wait, Renegade Rallier is the green and blue one that draws you a card and makes energy.
Well...
And he's going to sword up his worm. That's a flavor fail. A worm can't carry a sword. Well, it's a germ. It's a germ. You're right.
It can when it's in a robot Batterskull suit.
When the germ is driving a robot Batterskull suit, it can carry a sword. When my Batteram, it looks like a Green Sun Zenith for 3.
He could just tape it to his head like a unicorn.
It looks like a solid card, Jorgensen. Let's see what he's... I think he Green Sun for 3 here. Right? The 2 mana in the bottom is what paid for the sword, and then the 4 there is paying for that Green Sun Zenith.
So that would be 3.
But let's see what he goes and looks for. Help us, chat.
You're our only hope. It's green.
It's a green spell. It has power and toughness.
It's at least... It's probably a 3-mana card.
I really do not recognize that artwork at all.
Me neither.
I'm not super familiar with these Dark Maverick lists, though. You're right. He can unequip the Batter Skull and then keep the sword on. And then that is a huge flavor fail. The Germ cannot carry a sword.
It just basically is the sword.
He's just a
Scrib
chump
Ranger?
block. Scrib Ranger, thank you. That is a Scrib Ranger.
I'm gonna bring that up. Scrib Ranger.
Yes. That is hot. Yes, it is. So there's
Is
the
that what it
Emrakul.
is?
Yes, that's a Scrib Ranger.
Okay.
There's the Emrakul for Brian. The new spicy RPTQ artwork. And it looks like he's just gonna battle. See if he put his Annihilator trigger on the stack. Looks like he did, as Ryan's gonna go reaching for some cards.
So yeah, he's gonna get the Annihilator, but it's gonna get mazed.
Right. But Brian does have the extra turn from the cast trigger on the Emrakul,
Oh yeah.
which means that he's gonna get a second Annihilator trigger and the attack. So this game's just done.
Well, he's gonna get the trigger. Oh yeah, the maze will already be tapped.
The maze is already tapped. So he gets another attack step with the Emrakul, and I think Brian's trying to line that out for him here. Yep, and he does, and the game is over.
Finishes it in turns.
Wow. What a game from Brian.
Oh, this attack is on the second turn. Says
Oh, this is
give
the
us some.
This is the second turn?
Well, it doesn't have haste.
Oh yeah, duh.
Today.
Gosh. Emrakul's usually come into play off of Through the Breach, from what I'm used to.
0-0 is incorrect. We were doing
This was our second table, and
Yeah,
Sean
we
just never updated it.
we had no idea what the wins losses were.
He's a slacker. Alright, well, that's round one in the books here in Paragon City Games in lovely Draper, Utah.
I'm gonna fix these. Look at these. Look at how
Hamajang.
oh hamajang.
They're all
Oh.
Hamajang. Alright, well, I'm going to let Sean figure that out, and we'll go get our second match ready for you guys.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining.
Thank you. I'm socially awkward sometimes, so I don't like talking to people, so I make him do it. I think. Was that Brian giving up on his triple sleeve monstrosity? I don't know. Was he doing that? I don't usually like triple sleeving my deck unless I'm using like those sleeves with the art on the back that eventually peel off, because I want to protect those sleeves. Yeah, he's looks like he's unsleeving right here. And if he's just using some kind of like just regular sleeve, like some kind of matte sleeve, I don't think there's any reason to triple sleeve your deck. What was that blue card just now? Anyone catch that? Abrupt Decay. You're getting a nice look at his deck. Was that? That wasn't Force of Will. Let me look at all the arts for Force of Will. No, not the Force of Wills. He was going through... Right there, right there, right there. I don't know what that is. Not that. I don't know. Manipulate fate. Is that the really bad? No, that's not. I was thinking of like the 5-cost card. Search your library for 3 cards. Oh yeah, that's like a staple in this deck. Search your library for 3 cards, remove them from the game, then shuffle your library. No! I was talking about, it's a blue card that costs like 5 to 7, and it's like the same thing as the Delve one, where you like look at the top 7 and then you get to pick 3 cards, except it doesn't have Delve. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to remember the name of that card. No. We saw, it was forever ago, but we saw a blue player playing it in their mono blue Omniscience deck. It's like Dig Through Time, but terrible. Not pieces of the puzzle. I know that one because I play a pauper deck with it. It might be Ancestral Memories that we saw someone play once. We're just waiting for the next round to start. I think there's one more table that's probably... I googled Dig Through Time, but terrible. But yeah, I think it's Ancestral Memories that I'm thinking of. We saw someone playing Ancestral Memories because they could go tutor for it with... Yeah, Ancestral Memories is a bad Dig Through Time. They could go tutor for it with their Wish in the mono blue Omniscience deck. And I was afraid that he was playing that for some terrible reason. Like, it's just, it looks... The art's fine. I'll bring it up, here. Oh. That is not... Okay. It might not be that. Oh, a little bit of an earthquake there again. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it, but... Okay, as long as it's not that card, I'm happy. I think he was main decking them then, because I'm fairly certain it was Ancestral Memories that this Omniscience deck was playing. Yeah, the art's fine, except for that border. No, he didn't Cunning Wish for it. I think he was just main decking this card because he can just Omniscience, dig, 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 dig. And I think I distinctly remember him digging and whiffing. He cast like 3 of these in a row, and he couldn't find an Emrakul, and he lost. Like, he got Omniscience on the field, Ancestral Memories, you know, dug, Ancestral Memories, dug, Ancestral Memories, dug, and then like cast like a couple brainstorms and was like, oh my gosh, I can't find Emrakul, and loses. It's, yeah. Still, you don't put that in your deck. I don't think that's correct at all. Alright, let's see if we can see who's playing. There's Miracles against, looks like Grixis Delver, or there's Lands. Is this Lands Fire? No. Oh. Did I ever tell you about the guy who played Ancestral Memories in his Omniscience deck? And then he cast 3 of them on a turn and whiffed?
What a jerk.
Okay, which one do we want to watch?
This one.
This one?
We want to watch Michael Hinderrocker on the right with Miracles again, playing with Calvin on Grixis Delver.
Still no Storm from him. It looks like this is his main deck now.
He sold his Storm from what he was telling me, which I'm sad about. I've wanted to get Storm on the camera.
Usually the games with Storm are really quick though, and then we have to switch to the other camera for like almost like 10 minutes into the game.
Alright, looks the players are just gonna get shuffled up here and set for round 2 here at Paragon City Games, our legacy FNM.
If I was a betting man, I would probably take Miracles in this one as well.
I would too. And let's not forget, Michael's got the Pro Tour playmat there.
Kaladesh.
Funny, interesting. He went with his Pro Tour Kaladesh playmat over his Pro Tour Hour of Devastation playmat. Michael, I believe, a silver level pro here out of Utah. We've got a couple of those. But
the other ones being, is it the guy up at Oasis?
Danny Cathro, and I just totally blanked on his name, but yeah, the owner of Oasis. The owner of Oasis Games. But yeah, Michael been playing Standard almost exclusively for the last month, and got his RPTQ on Sunday, and then he's playing GP Denver next week. So he just needed a reprieve from the garbage fire that is Standard. And we're off.
We get lots of points in this chat for saying that. But
Alex Sittner, thank you. Thank you. It looks like a Delver of Secrets to start it off from Calvin.
Michael kept a 6 and scried his card to the top.
Okay. Curious what he picked up there. It looks like just fetching for a basic island. See if there's a Ponder or a Portent or a Brainstorm, a cantrip of some kind in our future.
I bet you it's a Ponder.
Yeah. Not a big fan of just turn 1 Brainstorms.
Oh no.
Like to save those. Pour over the pages.
I really think it's that other one.
Ancestral Memories. I don't even know what Pour over the pages is. And it's going to be a Portent for Michael. He looks at 3 cards. Looks like he saw a Counterspell.
It was Ancestral Memories.
I see a Counterspell and a Flooded Strand somewhere in the top 3, and he's going to order him somehow.
Because why would you play Pour Over the Pages when you just have an Omniscience in the field?
So you can draw 3 cards and then discard a card.
Why not look at 7?
So yeah, Flooded Strand from Calvin. No flip from the Delver. You can't all be lucky. Lucksack flip Delver. Are you still here? Send your energy Calvin's way. He needs it.
Everyone raise your hands to the sky. Donate your energy.
Just one. And he passes the turn.
Calvin not casting a Spirit
Calvin
Bomb.
going to untap, put his Delver trigger on the stack, and he's going to think for a minute. Going to think he whiffed here again. And he's going to decide if he wants that spell. Howdy, gents. How are you?
Quinlau.
Quinlau. Ni hao, Quinlau. Ni jiao shama.
Sorry.
It's probably not Chinese. I'm sorry, Quinlau. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here at Paragon City Games. And it looks like Calvin is not going to flip the Delver again, and he is going to shuffle away that card, which makes me think it was just an unwanted land.
Probably.
Or perhaps a wasteland for Calvin. I've also lived through not flipping a Delver 5 turns in a row.
Ooh. Is it good as a 1/1?
You know, surprisingly it's not. And a predict here from Michael. He does know the top 3 cards, so it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if that's the Flooded Strand we saw earlier.
This is his test. Can you remember the top cards of your library?
Let's see if he does. Oh, and it's the he named the counter spell. Calvin gonna get in there for 1. And that was all in response to the Wasteland. So Michael will take an untap and a draw step. It looks like he found a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
It's definitely a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
And a basic Plains for Michael is the land for the turn.
He has a Swords to Plowshares. I'm kind of curious if he's going to do it. Calvin's life total doesn't matter that much, but him seeing a card on top of his library does.
You know, somehow I don't think that the mad scientist has a family he cares about going home to. I think his only goal in life is to become as mutated as possible. And another Delver off the top for Calvin. You know, Calvin has been unlucky this game so far with the Delver flips, but he's the most tilting player to play against. He always has it.
Always has a Delver?
No, it. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is that wins Calvin the game, Calvin always has it. And it tilts me off to no end. I can never beat this kid.
You can never beat it?
I can never beat it. Calvin always has it. Except this time, apparently. Michael's got better luck than me, but an untap. Let's see if this one will flip.
Nope.
No, wow. Maybe the camera is just Calvin's bane. But he's got a young Pyromancer in his hand, so it looks like he's kind of doing a really good job of playing around.
You think these Delvers are just a little camera shy?
A little bit. It looks like Calvin's kind of really concerned about the Terminus here, not wanting to overcommit to the board. And if he could flip a Delver at some point, that's significant pressure that's going to force Michael to find a Terminus. And that young Pyromancer being an army in a can is the same thing. He's just going to try to 1-for-1 with the Terminuses.
See, Jeff Goldblum alters for Delvers. He was in The Fly.
Yep. Love it, Jorgensen.
Wasn't he in The Fly? That's the reference, right?
I think it is.
Kay.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Okay, I'm going to Google that.
He was in The Fly. Jeff Goldblum. I mean, he's the Jurassic Park guy, right? The doctor from Jurassic Park? Right? Jeff Goldblum? That's the actor we're thinking of? Or maybe I'm just completely off base.
You are right.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he was in The Fly.
Did he go crazy, or is that me? He was also...
Yeah, Delver isn't camera shy. The insectile aberration is. Doesn't seem to want to show its face here. Another predict from Michael. Banning a Brainstorm. It looks like he drew a counterspell for turn. He's got a Flooded Strand in... If you can't get that up on me.
Okay, it'll take me a little bit. It might take me too long.
Okay, don't worry about it. It's funny. You guys Google Jeff Goldblum Delver.
Yeah, for sure.
So a ponder for Michael. Looking at 3 cards, looking at his hand, trying to decide what he wants to do with these.
Looked away. Did he stifle something?
I think that's a Daze. Did they make a stifle that is a...
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did make a stifle that's one of these things? Yeah. Oh, and there's another thing. A nasty card. It's a Daze. Gonna flip the Delver to a Daze.
The other one is a stifle.
Kraken for 3, dropping Michael to 13.
It's the guy in the room filling with water with a torch.
They all look like a dumpster fire to me.
It's just that the borders are too big.
It's just that the card is atrocious.
It's because the borders are too big.
Yeah, all of the above.
The borders are thick with 2 C's.
Invocations, masterpieces, expeditions.
Yeah.
All of them. They're not just bad for on-camera play, they're bad for play. And I've let Calvin know that you put these in your deck, you should feel bad about your life.
And he's playing the maximum possible. We worked it out last time, and it was like 14 invocations in this deck.
So it looks like another stifle as Michael attempts to sacrifice his Flooded Strand, and that's just gonna happen here. don't know that the library needed to be cut or shuffled, but that's all right. Michael still did lose a life, as that's a cost to activate the fetch land.
That's the problem with these is that the borders are thick. So you're gonna just leave
Another
that there
ponder
for
for Michael. He really needs to dig for a Terminus or a Swords to Plowshares here.
Yeah, the race is on. No. Okay, I'm an artifact player and I can't stand those.
Atrocious, all of them. You just gotta stick with the muddy artifacts.
Oh my. The brown.
The nice, just baby poop brown artifacts. Delicious.
Tongue flick.
That is class. Alright, that is class. You know? Maybe Calvin's got a little bit of swag going on, or the painter player's got some swag.
We see a bright white glare card on the side of Michael. It's a dual land.
Yeah, it's a dual land of some sort. And a Jace the Mind Sculptor is a play for Calvin. Calvin's got something he's going to do. Just going to hard cast a Daze.
And
is Michael just going to Daze back?
Daze in response.
I don't know that was a Daze. Michael has 1 mana up to pay for a Daze. I'm not sure what... No, that is a Daze. Okay.
Definitely.
I just couldn't tell for a minute. But yeah, that's the Daze. The Daze artwork is actually really pretty.
I think he wants to keep up the 1 mana for something if he's going to.
Yeah, and he's going to bounce that Delver.
Jace ticks down.
Well, just interesting that... no, it's definitely the Daze. You can recognize the birds.
Yeah.
Daze is the only, like, actual pretty artwork. It's just...
He was going to double Daze, but it's kind of strange that Michael wouldn't just pay 1 for the first one.
Yeah, he must have something he wants to do with that mana. I didn't see the second Daze in Calvin's hand, though, so the first Daze makes a lot more sense. So.
Well, the shine on the birds makes it recognizable.
Right. I just didn't see the second one in hand. Putting 2 cards back with a Brainstorm, True Name Nemesis among the 2.
Well, almost.
Looks like True Name Nemesis and True Name Nemesis
are
the 2 spells that he's thinking about. Having the big playmat helps recognize it. I do think that the Daze artwork is really pretty.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the rest of the card is just atrocious.
It's because the art's too small since the border's so large. It's thick.
And another Delver of Secrets.
The same one.
Play. Yeah, same Delver.
This is probably going to do 1 damage to Jace and go back to Calvin's hand.
Well, if it deals 1 damage to Jace, then that means the... Oh, I get what you're saying, because Michael's going to down-tick the Jace.
Yeah.
But he's actually just going to force a will here, dropping down to 6 and discarding a counterspell, exiling a counterspell. And that Delver's going to hit the bin.
7 is the same as...
A Deathrite Shaman.
7 is the same as 8 for what's it called? Bolt? But
yeah,
it's not the same for Delver. Or for Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
But yes, it is. It's the same for both. If you combine them, though, it's different. Math.
I don't do math. That's why I don't win at Magic.
I think Michael does math. Counting.
Yeah, he is a much better Magic player than I am.
There's a Terminus. That's the only card that I can see there. And it doesn't look like he's interested in...
Probably not right yet. Curious,
second from the top at this point.
Looks like, does he thinking about a Monastery Mentor?
Oh, he's gonna...
Brainstorming with the Jace.
Yeah.
Getting a look at another card. 2 cards go back. I believe Terminus was among one of those cards.
Yeah. Well, put it back. Or put the Terminus back, you mean?
Yeah, on top.
Of course.
Right. You don't want that in your hand.
So you think you put it on top?
I don't know if it went directly on top.
Okay. So there's a G probe. We see Flusterstorm,
Portent, and Daze. Terminus was put directly on top, or was it the second card? It was directly on top?
If Jorgensen says that, it's true.
It must be. So it looks like Michael will be interested in trying to just Terminus away this Deathrite Shaman. He's not interested in getting greedy. And I think Calvin's already shown that he's also not going to get greedy here. He just wants to 1-for-1 with Michael, make him answer each of his threats on a 1-for-1 basis. Not looking to get 2-for-1 by a Terminus here. Or is he? He looks like he's reaching for a young Pyromancer. Maybe getting ready to just try to close this game out in short order here.
Yep.
Which is going to feel good for Michael.
Michael gives him the thumbs up, like, sure you can do that. Look at this Terminus.
And there's the Terminus. And Calvin not going to activate the Deathrite Shaman. Probably, yeah, I guess he doesn't care about the 2 life. Probably got something better he'd rather represent with that 1 mana.
Yeah.
Pay for a daze.
Uh-huh. He saw the days, so...
Yeah.
There's a Swords to Plowshares, I believe.
Yep, Swords to Plowshares. A couple cards go back. And I'm going to say that this game is pretty much locked up for Michael at this point.
With a Jace on the field,
with a Jace on board, a Flusterstorm in hand, a Daze in hand. Yeah, probably should have tapped better there to leave the Deathrite Shaman activation up.
He probably shouldn't have tapped any of those lands.
True, he just shouldn't have even made the young Pyromancer. The Deathrite Shaman was going to be a 4-turn clock. It
could have punished him if Michael was low on removal, or he didn't Terminus, but Michael had already seen how many cards?
Oof. And another Terminus for Michael's going to take care of this Gurmag Angler. Wow. You know, I think that Calvin has a True Name Nemesis in hand, so maybe he wanted to bait the first Terminus so that he could make that True Name Nemesis.
That's a pretty good idea. Like,
yeah, there's the True Name Nemesis and the Daze.
Didn't we see another True Name Nemesis?
I thought there was one floating around on top, but maybe I was wrong, because he looks like he's just got the one, and he hasn't made a fetch recently, so...
So plus the Jace. I've seen some people throw the game
too thick. And there's a Wasteland off the top. And here's the True Name Nemesis.
So Calvin running.
Interested in keeping Wasteland up. Probably to try to help make that Daze in his hand better. Which so far it's not looking very good.
What makes it look better?
The Wasteland, getting rid of a source.
It does, but
it's still not looking good. And a Brainstorming Michael will go.
There's a Monastery Mentor.
Curious if he's interested in that. The Monastery Mentor can race the True Name Nemesis at this point.
Yeah, and
with the amount of cards Michael has in hand, plus an active Brainstorming Jace,
it almost protects the Jace. It can't block for it, but the crackback is so terrifying that you just start leaving up.
Maybe Calvin doesn't even attack with the True Name for threat of just taking $1 million on the next turn.
Yeah, that's possible. But I think if I was him, I would just be like,
it is tough at 7, Jorgensen.
Hit
but
your face.
It's a 3-turn clock for Michael if Calvin doesn't find anything else to go with it.
Yeah,
or a 3-turn clock for Calvin. I mean, against Michael. You know,
depending on what he
depending on what he attacks, he could just go after this Jace too.
I would go face.
Oh, I think that in this situation, it's very realistic that True Name can outrace the Mentor. Did he attack the Jace, though?
He attacked the Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. That's another...
I like getting in there.
There's another Monastery Mentor for Michael.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty fast clock.
You're right. If he had drained with the Deathrite Shaman, that would be a 2-turn clock here. And I don't know if the Mentor could race the 2-turn clock. That's a tougher order.
Yeah.
Because that would mean that Michael would have to find lethal on this turn.
Oh, the thick card went away, so I'm going to have to get rid of this real quick.
Yeah, get rid of that. We ain't thick no more.
But that's how Calvin likes them.
Thick. Those thick borders. A second Monastery Mentor, and now I think that attacking the Jace is really punishing him, especially because he found Lightning Bolt. Michael would just be dead here.
Mm-hmm.
So attacking that Jace, really punishing Calvin, and wow. The second Monastery Mentor means that
he could just Swords to Plowshares his own guy.
You're right.
For 3?
You're right, to change the clock. Sure, but I mean, Calvin doesn't know that. He just needs to try to race what's on board.
He'd be super dead if he...
I'll be really surprised here if with the amount of cards in hand plus the Jace, if Michael can't find a W through... What's he at? 15? Alright, that's actually a lot. He's at a way higher life total than I thought for a minute.
Yeah, he was at 17 last
15
turn.
might be really tough to get, but let's see what Michael can do here.
He gets 2 triggers off of this Ponder. It's a good start.
That is a good start.
But usually puts a counter, so we're at 1 prowess.
So we've got 6 damage on the board here. So if Michael can cast 6 spells, he needs 6 spells, right? 8? He needs them to be 8 8s to make 16?
Yeah, he has 6 mana.
And it looks like it's just going to be for...
Sword's my guy.
Oh, nice, because those also have prowess. So he's going to gain a lot of life there.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to gain 3 life? 2 life.
It looks like 3.
I think only 2, because that's 2. The second spell.
You're right.
So it's just going to be 2, which isn't going to take Michael out of Bolt True Name range. So it looks like Calvin might still be able to walk away with the win here.
Is that a Deathrite Shaman?
It is a Deathrite Shaman. There's the Bolt. He shows the Bolt. Let's see if Michael's got a counterspell. He does have the Force of Will.
Pitches a Snapcaster Mage that probably wasn't doing anything.
Yep.
And there's a whole prowess triggers.
5. 2 more prowess triggers coming.
That looks pretty bad. That's still a Daze stuck in Calvin's hand.
He does have another sword, so Michael's got a lot of insurance here against Calvin. It looks like he's just going to try to daze that force. See if Michael misses the obvious play. No, Michael pays for his daze. Surprising. I didn't see that one coming.
Well, that's why you lose games of Magic.
Oh no, he dazed me! You have 5 untapped lands! And a Deathrite Shaman is the play for Calvin. Not a lot that he can do here.
Block.
Well, 2 blockers, and it looks like he's still probably going to take lethal.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like his life total changed on the dice, but he should be down 8 points. Or yeah, he should be down to 7 here. He should be down 8 points from that 15 from the last attack.
Don't daze me, bro.
Don't daze me, bro. And I'm going to say that Michael's got this one pretty much locked up. It looks like attacking the Jace there on that turn and not leaving the black man up for that Deathrite activation really came back to
it's exactly
Calvin.
5.
It is exactly, yeah. Wow. It's the little plays, guys.
Yeah.
That get you.
I feel like he veered from his plan. Like, the plan of just kill you. If you have a True Name in play, like, I don't know how much you care about a Jace.
Especially when it's on that low loyalty, you know, you're racing that Jace ultimate. The fear, though, is the amount of cards that the Jace can find. But if you're not killing the Jace in one attack...
He's going to get those cards anyway.
Almost doesn't feel worth it. Especially, too, if you're not going to attack him the next time. Because he attacked the Jace and then attacked Michael.
I think he realized his blunder and he changed his plan.
Yep. Just what we were saying, Jorgensen. You know, he had one thing in mind. But, you know, in Calvin's defense, if the game plan was attack Jace when it should have been attack Michael, what do you think? Do you still attack Jace the second time to try to
I think
rectify the first player? Or do you just at that point correct yourself and attack Michael like you should
correcting yourself, it was the right play.
You don't think he should have attacked the Jace the second time, got it off the board? After he wasted the first attack?
No. Like, at that point, he saw the Monastery Mentor, and he's like, I don't have time to go for advantage anymore. I have to try to end this game.
Well, he had the Monastery Mentor when he attacked Jace the first time.
Did he? Oh, yeah, he did.
I believe so. I believe Michael had it in play. You're definitely right, Jorgensen, but I think the problem was that Calvin made the decision when there was one Mentor in play to attack the Jace.
Yeah.
That's often something that Magic players miss, though. When they make a mistake, they'll sometimes keep going on with that line when they should just accept the fact that they made the mistake and correct it. And I think that's what Calvin did, and I think it was right. He shouldn't have attacked the Jace the first time, but I think definitely correct to get back on track and start just trying to get Michael dead.
Like when you when you make an attack and you go, oh, I have this enchantment in my hand, and then post combat you're like, I'm not going to play this because I feel stupid that I didn't use this enchantment.
Yeah.
Like some people will be like, I don't want to admit my mistake and just play this post combat, so they'll wait. And
Yeah.
I respect admitting your mistake and just and going from the new point and just being like, from this point on, this is now the right play.
Yeah.
I know I should have made it before, but let's just do this.
Yeah. And Calvin definitely a very good technical player, despite a couple of really small mishaps that game that ended up costing it for him. So let's see if he can kind of get his head back in. I think that's very important, though, identifying what role you are in the matchup and sticking to that. And it looked like Calvin changed it up there for a minute and then did rectify it, did get back on track, but ultimately that did cost him the match, or the first game.
If he... There was not even that. There was also... He could have had a young Pyromancer on the field at some point, too.
Yeah, I don't know that he should have overcommitted with that Pyromancer. But, I mean, he did have the True Name in hand. He did have a lot more threats. So I think that he was trying to bait a Terminus, and he just decided that the Deathrite and the Young Pyromancer were his weakest threats. And if he could bait the first Terminus, then I think his plan was land that True Name Nemesis.
Deathrite alone would have just sat there and, like, nug you for 2, nug you for 2.
I definitely do agree, though. The life total Michael was at, it was a 4-turn clock with that Deathrite Shaman. It had to be answered. I don't think I would have committed any other threats to the board. At that point, my plan is get as much damage in with this Deathrite Shaman as I can, and then let you kill it. But we're off here in game 2. Calvin on the play with a Flooded Strand. Gonna think about cracking it and doesn't. Just passes the turn. Plains for Michael and a pass.
Just get a card deeper before you pop your...
Sure. And another Flooded Strand is the play for Calvin, which he is going to go sacrificing and searching here.
I'm sure it's for the Ponder, unless he got the Delver, and I don't think that's what he drew for the turn.
I don't think I saw a Delver. No, he drew a Flooded Strand for the turn.
Oh, okay.
The second Flooded Strand came right off the top and into play. Not sure if I saw a Delver in his hand, though, but that's coming into play tapped. Oh, it's getting Force of Willed. Curious what Calvin's actually trying to cast here. A Deathrite Shaman is going to get met by a Force of Will. Let's see if Calvin dazes back. He does have the day. No, what is that? What the crap? Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce.
Okay.
It's going to be a Spell Pierce.
Things coming all out of order.
It's not the out of order that's getting me. It's the card that I can't tell what it is.
But both is happening.
Yeah, I know enough about the stack that I can keep up with these out of order sequencings. It's when you start throwing invocations into the mix.
Okay, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Say this word for me.
Both?
Yeah, both.
Both? Are we saying this wrong?
No, I was just making fun of the other streamers for saying both.
Both?
Both? No, with an L. Both.
Both? Well, they're from Utah. Utah people talk
I'm
weird.
from Utah.
I'm not from Utah, so I don't talk as weird. Borf. DeBorf! Alright, let's get back on track here. What's Calvin going on? It looks like a Ponder.
Stifle. Stifle was the front card of his hand.
The invocation that he used?
No, in his hand.
Oh, in his hand. In his hand, okay.
In his hand.
Alright, looks like a Ponder. He's just going to shuffle here.
Yeah.
Michael going to give the deck a quick shuffle before Calvin draws his card.
Or maybe not so quick shuffle.
Come on, Michael. Calvin going to nimbly pick up his card and immediately put it into play, the Misty Rainforest. I think that is a Stifle. Looks like Stifle, Wasteland, and something else.
Predict?
A Predict for Michael. He does know what that card is from the Ponder. He's going to name Swords to Plowshares. Oh, I guess he didn't know the card.
Yeah. From what?
I thought, didn't Michael... Oh,
he's only cast a Force of Will.
You're right, Michael didn't Ponder. He had a Plains in play on turn 1. Calvin's the one who just pondered. And a Blood Moon.
Blood Moon coming in every game so far for Michael. Apparently that card's good.
This looks like it's going to get met with a Force of Will, exiling a Stifle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps if you turn your head sideways.
Nope, still can't read it. Turns out, if you can't read Egyptian, when you turn your head sideways, you still can't read Egyptian. Stupid wizards. Calvin take a draw. It's a Brainstorm. It looks like he's just going to snap that off. Doesn't have a lot of action in his hand.
Delver.
There's the Delver, though.
So he has a Wasteland.
A Wasteland, another Stifle. He picked
Is
up
that the true name?
He picked up a Delver, a True Name, and another blue card that I can't tell what it is.
So he's got to put 2 of these back, and I would assume that it's the Stifle.
I'm assuming that he might want to shuffle away the Stifle and keep the True Name. Right?
It looks like he's doing the opposite. He wants to keep this Stifle.
Well, you want to put the True Name Nemesis on top and have that be your next draw, but I'm curious what you put under it. It looks like the mystery blue card that we didn't recognize. Curious that he wants to keep the Stifle, probably definitely for a Terminus activation.
Terminus activation, or he's down to 2 land. Maybe he's just hoping to keep him on 2.
That is sometimes the game plan in this Grixis Delver deck. I, however, don't think with how long these games can go and with how minimal pressure you do have, I think you're saving the Stifle for a Terminus activation.
Minimal pressure, but now there's this Delver.
Well, Calvin's not lucky. He doesn't flip his Delvers, remember?
Well, he's been saving up his luck all last game.
And a Swords to Plowshares on the Deathrite Shaman. I think Michael knows that Calvin does not have the chi. He's not going to flip that Delver. I'm a liar.
It was a Gitaxian probe. A nice foily
Gitaxian probe is the draw for Calvin. So he's going to transform into the Insectile Aberration and smash. Down to 14.
I didn't catch that Deathrite Shaman eating the swords, but it did.
Yeah. I think Calvin just kind of shortcutted there. I'm going to go to 17 and take a peek. Wow. Powerful hand from Michael if he can find the lands.
Yeah, and he needs the red, and isn't the red already gone? Or what?
No, he still has basic mountain. Update the match counter. It's 1.
Wait, isn't that a Plains?
No, but he has a basic mountain in his deck. Michael 1. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for keeping us on track, Quinn Lau.
Okay.
So I mean, Michael doesn't have a red source currently, but there is a mountain in his deck and possibly another volcanic island.
Yeah.
I mean, with the amount of red cards that Michael has in his sideboard, he's playing like the Wear Terrors, 2 Blood Moons. He's got 3 Pyroblasts.
I'd still put him on the 1 mountain. I mean, he's
definitely 1 mountain. Probably multiple dual lands though. Hey, thank you. We're glad we can give it to you. We do our best. This isn't Star City quality, but
we've got 2 guys in a camera, and we work on this like a couple hours a week.
But you know, we're happy to bring it to you. There's not a lot of good legacy content out there, and so the fact that we can bring it to you guys every Friday night is great. This is my first time casting, though. And
yeah, Tuesday we get a lot of good.
Yeah,
we get a good viewership on Tuesday. Less so on Friday because a lot of people are playing the game, but surprisingly a lot.
That's usually what I'm doing. I'm usually playing here, but I've decided to
not lately
take a break from RPTQ testing and cast for you guys. Take a break from some crappy standard and modern to play some real Magic. Watch some real Magic happen.
I've been out of a job and I just found one, so hopefully Tuesdays I'm going to be showing up and playing on stream, so you might see a mud player crapping things up. You can afford it. It's surprisingly easy to get into.
Chappie_Dota. Do you play Standard? Because if you play Standard, if you stopped in a year, you could play Legacy.
Well, I mean, there's always like Burn.
Give me that mud.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get back on track here. A Brainstorm from Calvin. 3 cards coming. A Lightning Bolt, a Volcanic Island.
Standard and Modern. I can respect playing Modern. That's like your entry level Legacy. Like you build a Modern deck and then you use half of your deck to build your Legacy deck.
And you know, I play Standard. I play Modern.
It's like the tournament format.
You know, it depends. It just depends. What is your journey? What is your Magic journey? What are you looking to do? I'm trying to grind my way onto the Pro Tour, and unfortunately, Legacy is not the way to do that. And as much as I love to play, I can't always. You know, I've got to prioritize. So
Michael's already down to 8, and there's this flipped Delver. We didn't quite see how this Delver flipped. I assume the Brainstorm gave a little help.
Yeah, the upkeep Brainstorm. I'm imagining it's off the Lightning Bolt that's in his hand. We did see that come off the Brainstorm, and it looks like 2 lands and a Gurmag Angler off this Brainstorm.
Wasteland not useful at all here.
Yeah.
Neither is the Volcanic.
He's, I think, set on his lands here.
He's Brainstorm locked, though, isn't he?
He is Brainstorm locked, and he tapped his Volcanic Island, or I'm sorry, his Underground Sea for that Brainstorm, so he can't make the Gurmag Angler that he just found. Wanted to hold up for the Lightning Bolt. But yeah, Quinn Lau, that easy mode. Burn into Blue-Red Delver, into Rugged Grixis Delver.
So it kind of looks like Michael is just going to pop off a Terminus on his upkeep. He just Brainstormed, and I know I saw at least... Oh, okay, it's going to have to be next upkeep.
Yeah.
There's a Portent in his hand, though, isn't there? There's some kind of draw.
Did not catch it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a Portent. He
Draw
didn't,
step.
He didn't
There's
shoot
the
it off.
Wasteland. Curious if Calvin wants to force the issue here and make Michael shuffle his deck.
I think that's what you do.
Do you suspect the Terminus?
Always.
You just always respect the Terminus. You just
Calvin-
make him do. Oh, and there it goes.
Because Kelvin wins this game as long as Terminus isn't there.
You're right. Definitely the correct play here. And Michael gonna fail to not even search.
So Calvin's got the read on him. He's like, okay, he
knows
has
there's the
to want
Terminus,
that Terminus on
which
top.
means Calvin's not going to commit his Gurmag Angler or his True Name Nemesis this turn. Going to just force Michael, who is at 5, to use this Terminus
smartly.
Not a lot going on for Michael here as he casts a Portent. Looks like another Terminus on top among a Swords to Plowshares.
And a Pyroblast.
And a Pyroblast.
Yeah, it was a Pyroblast.
Okay. These chairs are hard on the back.
Yeah, they are.
They're not even old. We're complaining about our backs.
I wasn't.
And there's the Volcanic Island for Calvin. And he's just going to make the True Name Nemesis.
I kind of like keeping... Unless he has something to do with that mana.
Terminus.
I would have just kept that land in my hand in case I hit...
well, he has a Lightning Bolt. He has a Lightning Bolt. And so I think he likes keeping the Lightning Bolt... Having the Lightning Bolt up. Old fogey.
Okay, we're banning Quinlau.
Only 26. So I think he wants to hold that Lightning Bolt up because he does know about the 2 Monastery Mentors. He's just going to snap that off here and put Michael to 1. That was a powerful Lightning Bolt.
Can't cast those Lightning Bolts with all those mountains, but he can.
Yeah, he can also cast the red Elemental Blast that he just picked up. But the Gurmag Angler going to be stranded there, and unfortunately not a lot to do against his Monastery Mentor.
Jams a mountain.
Wow. Expertly navigated here by Michael, though, to get through what looked like a rough spot there for him.
That's what the Miracles player does. He
had to find the red source for the Blood Moon.
He goes down. They go down to 1 or 2, and then they stop, and then the game all of a sudden turns around.
Yeah, the days. Jorgensen has a good point, though, of why he played that mountain. He knew that Michael had that days. He's seen days out of Michael.
Oh, okay.
So playing around days, keeping that Lightning Bolt up in the face of the Mentors. Snapcaster Mage coming down here.
And
I think that's just an Ambush Viper. I don't think Michael has...
He's got to have a Brainstorm.
No, I think he's just got Portent. Oh, he's got a Predict in his graveyard, it looks like. So at least can cast that. Either way, though, I think Ambush Viper is probably okay. Michael just wants to end this game before Calvin can...
Not only is it Ambush Viper, if he casts literally any spell, it's going to trigger that Mentor.
Any spell, yep. And looks like just the red blast. No, it looks like it was just an Ambush Viper there. Nothing in the graveyard for Michael to flash back.
What? No, it never hit the field.
Oh, duh, Red Blast just counters it, huh?
Yeah, it does.
I always get so... Sometimes I just think that Red Blast is just a removal spell for blue things, but no, it's a counter spell. You're right.
Ooh.
Shady. That was shady.
Yeah, I think he... Sleight of hand there.
Gonna get in for 2. Dropping Calvin down to 10. Calvin Does Calvin have an out to Blood Moon? He doesn't have any basic lands in the Grixis Delver deck, do they?
No, he does not.
So this Blood Moon is just a hard lock for Calvin. Not really anything he can do unless he finds that other Lightning Bolt and resolves it.
Yeah, I guess it's Lightning Bolt outs, and
Bolt or bust.
Michael's
got a quick clock coming here. He's got a grip of cards.
And he has Counterspell up. So, like, his out is another Bolt, but this game is over.
Pithing Needle, not going to do much here. Or Pithing Needle. Whichever.
It's Pithing.
I'm going to keep calling it Pithing, because that's...
wrong.
That's how I learned it. Someone told me it was Pithing Needle when I was learning how to play the game, and that's just since what I've called it. These Monastery Mentors looking really good, though, against these Pyroblasts and Red Blasts.
Force of Will mana up. It totally is. Red Blast again.
Red Blast going to stop the Brainstorm, but not the trigger. And
Red
the
Blast
Pyroblast going to get another trigger there.
Oh, they're all Pyroblasts. I heard Calvin always has it.
Yeah, not this time. I guess it's just me.
Well, when you don't, like, pay 1 mana for dazes and stuff and let your spells get countered, it kind of feels like they always have it, don't they?
Did I do that last time I played Calvin? I think I did just forget to just not pay for a daze.
No, we were giving you crap about it earlier in the stream. Okay, I'm going to update that, and then I'm going to go over to this table and see if... Let's get this bad card off of this. It looks like
these guys are also just finished up, which we had a Lurin versus Red Black Reanimator, but it looks like that's over with. Who do you like in that matchup? Lurin or Reanimator? I think I like Reanimator. Not a lot of interaction out of a Lurin. At least game 1. Game 2 they can bring in some action, but
the Baleful Strixes make me consider it a little bit. They have good hand disruption and counter spells.
Hand disruption not at its best though against Reanimator, unless you are hitting a reanimation spell itself.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of their dig spells, you know, the Faithless Looting, not a great target for Thoughtseize or a Cabal Therapy.
Making it cost 2 more is at least relevant.
That's true. When your plan is to make a 4 mana enchantment, you want to slow them down as much as you can.
And sometimes...
Should I go...
Huh?
Should I go check on time and see? Let's do something fun. Let's get Michael Hinderocker in the booth.
If you want,
and see if he wants to talk a little bit about that match.
Go for it. I won't stop you. I just noticed you called it blue-white privilege. Oh, there we go. Someone stretched out those names.
You don't want dead air.
So, you brought him in. Do you have questions?
Well, Terminus is kind of good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Even when your hand is insanely clunky and, you know, just awful and it happens.
Do you want to shut the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the noise.
Talk to us a bit about kind of what was going through your mind there during the game. What was your game plan against Grixis?
I like Blood Moon in that matchup because it's pretty easy to clear the table once, and if you can follow it up by slamming a Blood Moon, they can only play Young Pyromancer and Bolt. So that was the thought process. I mean, probably some of the cantrip sequencing was sort of interesting, but I don't know how much of my hand you're able to see during the match. So
Most of it.
About as much as you are willing to show us. Some players play it close to the chest, though.
yeah. So
There's an actual game going on here, right?
we got reanimated.
They're just playing for funsies, but
Oh,
I
okay.
said, yeah, you guys play. We have all sorts of entertainment here.
Oh, good.
We can hear Michael talk about miracles and watch Allure play with Red Black Reanimator.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I guess at the end of the game, I was trying to figure out how to play around. So I had double counterspell, but I only had 2 blue. I think Calvin used his Pyroblast maybe a little bit aggressively, like because he Pyroblasted 2 spells that weren't counter spells for his Lightning Bolt.
Is this the last game?
Yes. Like he
Wasn't he already locked out of the game by that point, or were you talking earlier ones?
No. If he had drawn another Lightning Bolt, I only had 2 blue sources and I was at 1, so I couldn't force. So I was a little surprised that he got as aggressive as he did.
I
with
think he made a couple of play mistakes. Like I think you probably noticed, he attacked your Jace that one game, and he played out that young Pyromancer. We were thinking the young Pyromancer. When he had his Deathrite Shaman out, and you had the Terminus on top.
Could have cast it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
and you know it's there.
Well, he had a Gurmag Angler and True Name in hand, so we think he was baiting there, maybe.
Well, but he wastelanded the Arid Mesa first. So once I don't shuffle...
this was separate play.
It was
this was in game 2.
Was it,
yeah,
no,
the Arid Mesa play was in
that was
game
a different
3,
time.
Yeah.
We only played 2 games.
Oh, you're right. Game 1 then. Game 1 when he had the Deathrite Shaman, and he cast the young Pyromancer, and then you just untapped and showed the Terminus. He had Gurmag Angler and True Name in hand. So we think he was probably just trying to bait that out there, but
you would have cast it anyway,
you were
right?
You were at 7 life. You had the
It's 1
answer.
mana. I think like you're generally better off just. You need to have a lot of it in hand. I mean, with a Jason play, it's a little bit different because you can sort of you can give yourself Terminus triggers every turn if you would like them. You can keep giving yourself the opportunity to cast it, but I think in general, pretty happy to just cast it as a Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to talk, I should get on camera a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I kind of scooted everybody over.
I wasn't planning on talking. I was going to let you and Michael just have the...
But it's kind of interesting. I mean, Terminus is still really good. Obviously, the deck is more clunky. It has issues. Like, if you saw my hand during that second game, I was just, like, chilling with, double Monastery Mentor, double Blood Moon for a minute, and eventually it was just like, well, I guess we're... casting these, like, because you have a daze, but like I have to play spells or whatever. So
we've seen you stabilize all day and just cast multiple Blood Moons and just Blood Moon win.
Yeah, Blood Moon is really good. It's really powerful, obviously.
How many red sources in your deck? We were wondering.
3.
3.
1
2
mountain,
volks
2 volcanic islands. I'm not sure. It's possible that the second volcanic should be another Arid Mesa. But honestly, I am missing the other island I would have to play doesn't match the ones that I have. So that was the deciding factor in the building tonight. Yep.
So looks like we've got a question from the chat. How often does the Blood Moon just auto win games for you, like we've seen all night on camera?
I'm in pretty much every deck that's ever played Blood Moon. It basically does that. Like, that's kind of the point. You just play it and your opponent's like, oh, yeah, that seems bad for me.
That's why we see decks that are just, I play Blood Moon and then I win.
Oh, you can definitely just like play the Blood Moon Chalice decks in Legacy and in Modern. You see that occasionally with just like Blood Moons and Simian Spirit Guides or whatever. Yeah, it's really stupid.
In Modern Storm, having the Blood Moon in your deck feels terrible until you make it against the right opponent, and then it just feels wonderful.
Yeah, well, I mean, against Delver especially, like, they can cast, like, bolts and young pyros, and that's it.
And they're pyroblasts if you're, they board those in, but those
they're less
doing anything against the Blood Moon anyway.
You've got to be mostly dead, right?
Yeah.
So, but it shuts off a lot of the game, and it does. I mean, obviously, I think you need something like that for like lands, which we have a ton of around here. It's pretty good in all of the Delver matchups, and a lot of the decks that you struggle with otherwise. I mean, I think Delver is fine whether or not you play Blood Moon, but certainly doesn't
Like
help.
your matchup with Delver is fine?
Yeah. I think that, like, in general, Terminus is just really good against Delver. I mean, that's kind of always been the case, right? Like,
Are you packing the full 4 Terminus?
Yep.
There's lists not. How do you feel about that?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I'm probably not the...
This is your first week
not
on the
person
deck,
to
right?
ask. So, yeah, I just grabbed a list from... It won a Magic Card Market series event in Prague, and then someone top 8'd the Legacy Challenge last week with it on Magic Online. So, just thought I would try it out, because I have, the dual lands for it, so... Here we are. It's a good time. Kind of fun to play with Predict, and it's certainly a lot more cantrips, for better or worse.
We didn't see it. Are you playing with Unexpectedly Absent in your deck? No.
Really?
So it's 4 Mentors in the main.
Oh, yeah.
No, and it with then 3 Dazes in the main as well.
I do like...
So you're trying to kind of just jam Mentor a little more proactively. It hasn't played out that way the first couple rounds, but I think that's the hope, that if you can play it a little more proactively, you can use a Daze to protect it. Daze is also probably the best spell to counter opposing Dazes, right? Like I got Calvin with a Daze in one of those games where he just didn't expect it.
Well, you
had
dazed you
double
once,
there.
and you had an island up, and you decided, I'm just going to daze the first one.
So I had a Flusterstorm in hand.
Yeah.
That I thought I
Okay.
cast.
I was
My
curious what spell you
Flusterstorm-
had.
My life total was getting low. That was just looking at the chat. 4 Mentor Days version is nice. The other builds dirtle too much, and that's tough without countertop. I kind of agree. I played against it a bunch online, and sometimes with just Entreat the Angels and like Jaces. Jace is kind of clunky in some matchups.
Definitely.
Like especially the combo matchups, it's really hard to tap out for him sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you only have Entreat the Angels as the other thing to draw to, you can just sometimes like actually get run out of ways to win.
Yeah.
Which is awkward. So just having, I mean, I don't know that it's better, but it's different.
I really like it. I would say that it's better in my mind. I've watched, if anybody watches Caleb play, he's been brewing with Monastery Mentor all of these weird, like, I just play a whole bunch of slow trips that are artifacts, and
oh yeah, I've seen
like
that deck,
and he's just like, I try to make a turn 1 Monastery Mentor, and the deck works because Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, I mean,
good
Why not
magic
just
card.
play it in one of the best decks, Miracles? Like, it already belongs in the deck. Just play more of them.
well, people are
and
usually sideboarding them, with the
Before
idea being that
before
people
the top
cut
ban.
with, well, even after a lot, there are usually a
That
couple
was-
in a lot of the sideboards where
Yeah, that was what the
people
plan
just cut the
was.
removal after game 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the idea. I guess if you start playing Dazes, then, and you shift the deck in that direction a little bit, I would think that it's just less of a problem if people are trying to remove it. If you can usually respond to the removal spell on turn 3 or 4.
It's just an army in a can.
Yeah.
Powerful card.
Yeah.
But
It
just
gives
playing
us-
extra counter spells, just combo decks. Like, your combo matchup has got to get better.
I think Mentor is good in the combo matchup. I don't think Daze usually is. It's really hard because you can't actually... You're not really a deck that's set up to cast it for its alternate casting cost in the early game.
Sure, yeah, that
Because
makes
you
sense.
actually need to...
You do have the
get
basic
3 or 4
planes,
lands in.
which is
Yeah. Well, you need
rough on
to get 3 or
you,
4
and-
lands in play is the bigger issue.
Yeah.
Like, Delver is so functional with, like, Deathrite Shaman, Wasteland, Delver...
make a
where-
1-drop hold up
Right,
days.
exactly. Where your game plan is, like, all about making both people short on mana, and Daze is really good for that. This is more like, I cast Mentor and then use Daze as an extra force to protect it. But...
But what's it? Do you know what it's replacing?
So you're not playing any Unexpectedly Absent, not playing any Entreat the Angels. I mean, that's usually like 5-ish slots, right?
Yeah, and that seems like you're just putting, like, Daze is definitely better than those cards in the combo matchup, isn't it?
It's probably better than Unexpectedly Absent.
Yeah.
That seems like a low standard. And then only 3 predicts without Unexpectedly Absent. It's like, it's sometimes good, but I had to cast that game blindly just for velocity.
Yeah.
What'd you name?
Flooded Strand.
Okay.
I had something that was 4. So it's a little bit different, and I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not going to tell my guy know exactly what version is better, and all kinds of different games or whatever. But it's definitely interesting and kind of fun. It makes the games go a little faster, for better or worse.
Yeah, it's
right?
been really nice for coverage.
You don't. You're
games
either,
feel
you're either going to
action-packed
win or
and
you're going to draw a bunch of
fast-paced.
mentors and die because you can't play them. So.
Yeah.
Nice long games are good for coverage too, because we don't have big.
And especially when they're not just, I have a top and a counterbalance. You didn't do anything? Okay, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, these have been nice action-packed games.
It forces you to play a little more proactively.
Pairings are up.
Pairings are up. All right,
Awesome.
pairings are up, so we're going to let Michael get out of here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
By light, you mean force?
Yeah, I didn't really give him an option. I just kind of came in and said, "Come talk, Michael. We don't want dead air."
It's good old.
Michael, a quality gentleman.
A little soft spoken. Our mic is really sensitive today, though.
Oh,
Is there a lot of noise here? Because
looks
see
like
that?
we've got Michael again on camera with, I believe that's the Allurin player that we didn't see from last round. He has a very interesting build of Allurin, too. It's 4-color, but he has a single Snapcaster Mage and like a single Birds of Paradise in his main deck. So he's just really trying to focus on getting that Allurin out as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
The Snapcaster Mage is odd, though, how few relevant hits are actually in the deck. Let me go find out Allurin player's name. I can't remember it.
Is Allure 2 L's?
No. Matthew. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you spell Allurin. I only played the deck for like 4 or 5 months, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna check in real quick on what's happening here. Absolutely nothing.
Let me go see if I can get a match there.
That would be nice. Catch people before they start their game. Still shuffling up. No one's presented their decks or anything. Looked away for a second. Was that a double mulligan? Let me go let Brandon in.
So on the second table, we've got Paul on lands and Jordan on Allurin also. So we've seen a lot of miracles tonight. Chat, do you guys want to change it up, or do we want to keep following the epic storyline of Michael Hinderrocker? Or we could change it up and we could watch lands and Allurin on the second table.
I'm vetoing the lands.
I am actually really enjoying watching Michael pilot miracles. You know, he's done a really good job of navigating some really tight spots, and when you get a good miracles player on the deck.
What was this? Somebody else Allurin?
Yes, Jordan on Allurin on the second table.
Okay.
All right. Well, looks like Matthew is taking a mulligan. Michael seems happy, or at least satisfied, with his 7 cards here to start round 3.
And who's favored in this one, would you say?
Well, before the counterbalance, or the top banning, I would give it to Allurin, but I think losing the counterbalance as a crutch for the deck means that Allurin can't just fall back on the abrupt decays and the big creatures that it was, you know, just the big spells it was sliding through the counterbalance. And I think that Michael maxing out on Monastery Mentors is going to be a big problem for Allurin.
Really?
There's not a lot of interaction there, not a lot of removal. The Baleful Strix is going to keep the Mentor himself from attacking, but if you're just trading a humongous monk token with that Belfast Strix, you really don't care.
Huh.
It's kind of just almost for the Allure player going to be a race, I think, to the combo, and hope that he can just
so you're just
force
saying
that through.
the second part of the deck where you're just like kind of a crappy tempo deck that wants to beat your opponent that way isn't as good, but the combo is still decent.
Allurin likes to, when it can't fall onto its combo, it likes to turn into sort of a weird mid-range deck with some tempo aspects in the Parasitic Strix being able to, get that life drain going. You have Eternal Witnesses, which I think the Eternal Witness is going to be good here in this matchup, to buy back cards. The Terminus kind of puts a wrench in that. You can't buy back the creatures that get wrathed away.
So Michael did see a Terminus here. I think he put it second from the top.
Okay, got a Gluttonous Crane, the star of this deck, in my opinion. You get the Gluttonous Crane out with the Allurn and the Harpy, and you've probably won. I mean, you need at least like 5 or 6 life, but if you've got at least like 6 life, you've probably won that game.
It is a hit here. Would you say there's a lot of non-hits?
There are definitely a lot of non-hits, but your hits are so relevant that it's worth playing 1 to 2 copies of the card for when you do go off.
What is this Strix called? The
Parasitic Strix?
Parasitic Strix.
Yeah.
Where if you control an artifact, or is it the color creature?
A tapped island for Michael. Oh, it's for a Brainstorm. I'm going to use that mana right away. 3 cards coming. Looked like 3 lands. A Scalding Tarn, a Tundra, and an island, I think is what I saw. Turn your head sideways. Maybe you can see it better.
I can get closer to the screen.
2 cards going back. Getting frisky with those spells in the battlefield. And he's just going to pass the turn.
Let the race begin.
Won ya. Get in there, poking you with my cranes. And it'll be a Misty Rainforest and a pass back. Michael's going to draw.
Do you think the Terminus shuffling back in the spells is relevant in Allurin since you're digging so deeply and shuffling?
Do you mean in the sense that it adds more cards to the deck, so it hurts your ability to search with your cards?
It's like it increases the card density of like your threats.
Yeah.
And when you're shuffling and you're like looking at the top 3 or whatever over and over and over, I kind of want to say that that's relevant.
Yeah, I guess if you've shuffled since the Terminus, you've mixed, 2-3 more cards into the deck. Yeah. If they're not hits, you've just added more non-hits to the deck when you're looking for very specific cards with this Allurin deck.
I mean, it's not the biggest thing, but like Magic is a game of like tiny percentages that you accumulate to win.
Yeah.
And if you plug something like that into a hypergeometric calculator,
yeah,
like it increases your percentage by probably 1 to 2% of hitting a threat after you shuffle.
Yeah.
Higher if you're counting 5
all
cards.
very relevant things when you're playing on a high level like these players are here. Both players very experienced. Michael not necessarily with the deck, but probably one of the better players here tonight. And Matthew...
Just with Magic cards?
Just with Magic cards in general. But Matthew's been playing this Allurin deck for at least a month or 2 now, and he's been having a lot of success here with the deck.
So you think Magic is going to make a dual deck experience versus talent, and it's going to be these 2? There's a Baleful Strix. And he's going to go shuffle. I think he's going to jam this Baleful Strix.
I like jamming the Baleful Strix. That was also one of the big bonuses to playing this deck, is Baleful Strix felt really good.
It always does.
When they Terminus your Baleful Strix or Swords your Baleful Strix,
you shrug and say,
you feel great.
Fine.
You feel wonderful.
Like, and when, it's a great blocker.
It's a fantastic blocker.
I've seen that thing just annihilate.
Like I said, the Baleful Strix is kind of what will hold back the Monastery Mentor from actually attacking, which means that Michael's going to have to go really wide with his monks.
I kind of fear that card when I'm playing Mud.
Oh, yeah.
Unless I get...
especially with your Metalwork Colossuses?
Those are going down, and the
Batterskulls are going up?
The Batterskulls already went up. The Walking Ballistas are going up.
I get behind that 100%.
Not to talk about my deck too much.
Alright, so it looks like we're in Michael's first main phase here, and it looks like he's debating on a Monastery Mentor.
It's a swords.
He's got swords. I think I saw a counterspell in there.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, not good against these creatures.
Not a fan of Jace the Mind Sculptor against the Alluran deck. They just have way too many efficient...
It's
not efficient. The creatures in Alluran are not efficient unless you make an Alluran, but they all are value creatures.
It's like a 4-mana cantrip. He can't kill it yet, so he's gonna just be like, 4 mana, make this Jace. Brainstorm past the turn.
And if you're bouncing one of the Alluran threats, that still feels really bad.
Oh yeah, but if it's 2 Brainstorms, maybe it's okay. I think it's a card that wants to come out.
Yeah, I definitely don't know that I like it here in the matchup, but I love it on the Alluran side. And I believe that Matthew, looking through his deck, he's got at least one Jace in the main deck, and I think another in the sideboard, which I do like. So like I said, Matthew's playing kind of a spicy version of Alluran. He's got the 4 colors in there.
The Monastery Mentor ate a Forcible, though.
Yes, it did, which...
Michael needs a new plan, other than stop his opponent.
Well, I mean, that does feel okay for Michael, though. Depending on what else he has going in his hand, Alluran does not have a lot of ways to interact on the stack in terms of counter magic. The Force of Will is kind of just being it, because you don't want to cascade into anything.
Yeah.
And so getting one out of the way, kind of a step in the right direction, I think, for Michael. Especially because he's not on a fast clock here. He's got time. These one-powered creatures pecking away.
Gonna be able to shuffle.
He's got at least 7 turns.
He saw the 3, didn't like it. He's just gonna
game of shuffling.
Yeah, shuffle and then draw.
Let's see who can shuffle longer. None of these players giving any way here. And it looks like Matthew, the first to break. I would have just kept shuffling.
I know you would have. I've played test against you.
My problem is that I get talking when I'm shuffling. Magic the shuffling. And there's the terminus. You know, and that feels really good.
That does.
Michael needed to do it. He was on that clock. He needs to just make the clock go out. But when you get a terminus out of the way for the cost of one card, when you think that both those creatures found another hit. The Crane found the Strix, and the Strix drew another card.
So is it even one card?
Maybe not.
So they both accumulated a card, and then it's like...
I mean, Matthew is just up a card in this exchange, despite losing 2 creatures to the Terminus.
Yep. Does the Miracles deck... The Miracles deck used to not care about card advantage so much, and it's still not great at generating card advantage.
This deck is much better at generating card advantage with the Predicts.
And he cut one.
Yeah, so Michael a little down there. Maybe Michael's version of the deck is not as well positioned as I might have thought against the Alluran deck.
But Alluran isn't as popular as all of the other decks that it's good against.
No, hedging against Alluran is definitely not correct.
Yeah.
Right. I think Michael's decisions are probably fine. It's just going to bite him here in this matchup, possibly.
So Matthew has another Force of Will in his hand.
Looks like he's going to go for the Alluran. Yeah, see, old Miracles didn't care because the top was your card advantage.
Mm-hmm.
This new deck cares a lot about the card advantage, which is why they have the Predict engine.
So Force pitching Daze, that Daze didn't really look good to begin with. So.
And it looks like the Force pitching Strix here. Interesting that he pitched the Strix. That means he's got 2. Some Alluran decks only have the 1, and some have the 2.
Yeah.
What we need to be mindful, though, of is that Michael can just ambush Matthew with a Monastery Mentor here because of the Alluran.
If he remembers, a lot of people don't remember that it's symmetrical.
Yeah. I won a lot of games where after the game people read my Alluran and went, wait, I could cast my Snapcaster Mage for free?
He just saw a Monastery Mentor and he shuffled it off.
Interesting. So he's maybe thinking that that's not what this game's going to be about.
Maybe he could just say this game's going to be about this Jace. He already plussed it. He kept Matthew's card on top. And Matthew's just looking at lands.
Yeah, the Nithonian, exactly correct. The new Miracles uses Predict as the engine to generate card advantage, whereas the old Miracles deck didn't care about card advantage, because it was going to generate it eventually with the top and the counterbalance. And the Terminus is a huge source of card advantage in the deck normally, but as we saw earlier,
So I guess they're
Terminusing 2 spells away and still being down a card in the exchange.
It's still, Jace is gonna... It's generating virtual card advantage just by putting crap cards in Matthew's hand.
Well, yeah.
Like, they're not actually... He's not taking cards away.
No.
Matthew explaining something with his hands.
Matthew or Michael?
Michael is just...
Yeah, and it looks like Michael's upticking the Jays. He's just looking to end this game.
So, okay, that's his yard. I was like, that looks very good.
And it doesn't look like Matthew has much going on. It looks like a land, the Birds of Paradise, and the Eternal Witness maybe is what
Okay, that was the Eternal Witness.
2 lands and the Eternal Witness.
That's why he picked up his yard.
Yeah. The commentary. Is that good or is that bad?
The face is good. The spelling on commentary isn't great.
I hope that's good for you, the Nithonian. We're not the best players, but we love Legacy, we love bringing it to you, and we hope we're doing a good job.
I'm the best at my deck.
I'm not the best at any. Look, man.
Sorry.
I'm an engineer. Yeah, engineers aren't paid to know how to spell.
Yeah,
I work with a lot of them.
They sit at a computer. They have spell check. You have spell check. If you throw another one in there,
Looks like the Monastery Mentor. A Monastery Mentor has hit the board for Michael, and
no, it hasn't. He responded with the. Okay, now it has.
Oh, now it has. Okay, so the counter spell on the Eternal Witness. So now the Mentor has hit the board. Oh.
Oh. Gotta fill that airtime. I thought it was funny. So
Something's going on
he
here.
portented.
He portented, now he's going to draw his card in the upkeep.
He didn't shuffle, reordered them, and then drew the card he wanted.
Yeah. Let's see what he's got here. Fatal Push for the Monk token?
No.
He doesn't have Revolt. He didn't have Revolt triggered. Alright, it looks like Michael's going to be a nice guy here and let him trigger his Revolt.
Is it targetable? Can you target a thing and just have it not work? I'll look it up.
You can't target unless you have Revolt. It's 2 or less. So he's an illegal target.
Yeah, so he wasn't being a nice guy. He was following game rules and saying, that's not a legal target, sacked his land. Now is it a little illegal target?
Well, no, that's not how the rule would work. There was a legal target in play, the Monk token. So casting that spell with and targeting illegally doesn't mean that you can pull back and add something else to the stack by fetching. He just has to find a legal target or pull the spell back completely, I believe. Well, no, I might just be wrong. Maybe he can just pull it back and then redo it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Maybe that's how it works. I'm not a judge. I just feel like that's something that would get me. Someone would get me with that.
I'm going to bring it up here on stream so everyone can read it. I mean, other than the card pull-up MTG bot.
So it was an illegal target, but I guess...
No, it wasn't. Destroy the target creature if...
it has converted mana cost.
Yeah, so he could just say, okay.
Oh, wow.
But at FNM level...
it's kind of like a Pyroblast effect where you can target it whether it's red or not. It looks like Michael just being the gentleman and saying, hey, you don't have Revolt on that. You're not going to kill my guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing this for the practice and not for the...
I don't think Michael cares about the booster pack at the end of the day. He just...
No.
He's just sick of the standard grind and wants to play something fun. Yeah, thanks, Jorgensen. It says say if. That's what we were missing there. What would we do without chat keeping us in line?
Keep talking.
That's true, yeah. We just keep babbling like idiots. Looks like Michael getting in for 4. Yeah, and Michael kind of just ground Matthew down here. And
Matthew has a Strix in hand, but he has no other creatures, so it's just a 2/2 with flying.
Just the 2/2 with flying is not great here.
And I wouldn't even cast it because of fear of...
Talk to each other about the weather. Yeah, you're right, Jorgensen. We would just keep talking. At least you guys help make sure that we stay somewhat on track. Ponder from Michael. Got his prowess trigger and in for 4.
So this looks like the last turn. Oh, is he going to be able to...
Looks like something before damage.
He's like, no blocks? I think he's going through blocking.
So here comes a predict to get that other prowess trigger. Naming something. Wow, looks like he hit. No, he knew. He pondered. He pondered this time. He knew that card.
Ponder or Portent? I don't remember.
Ponder or Portent, one of the two. He knew. And the swords, so another prowess trigger.
The 2 life isn't irrelevant.
And it looks like this is just lethal.
From 10?
Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he was at 8. I don't know why that said... Oh, I don't know why that said 10.
Swords.
Oh, the swords. Duh.
Yeah.
Swords isn't just 1 mana kill a thing.
But
yeah, that was lethal there with the Snapcaster Mage.
Sure. I believe you.
To flashback.
Fine. So Matthew 1-0?
Michael picking up game 1.
Michael.
Good mentor math.
10.
We commentate the commentary.
Can I sneak past you real quick? My wallet digging into my buttocks is not enjoyable.
Oh, stretch. All right, we're going to go to the sideboards here for game 2.
Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff.
So, got a chance to look through Matthew's sideboard earlier.
So that's how you're supposed to spell it. It's E-N. So 2 M's, an E instead of the O.
Commentary. Looks like these players are just figuring out how they're going to sideboard here. Trying to remember what relevant cards Matthew had in the matchup. There looks like he's looking at a Golgari Charm among a bunch of other cards.
Matthew is?
Yeah. I like the Golgari Charm to try to clean up some monk tokens. Kind of rough, though.
Is it too late at that point?
It might be, but honestly, you're
taking a card out. Is there any card you're... I guess Force of Will you're excited to take out, aren't you?
Interestingly enough, I think I'm normally an advocate for pulling the Force of Wills out in these grindy matchups, but when you have a combo kill like Alurin does, I almost like keeping the Force of Will just so you can try to jam your relevant spells.
And Michael's his bombs are so bomby. Like, if you can just prevent a monastery...
It definitely seems way loose than Athonian, but I mean, when there's no other way for you to handle the card, because I don't believe he has a Toxic Deluge anywhere in his 75, which is a card that I would have in my sideboard if I were playing for this very reason. I mean, it's kind of just a guessing game, though, at that point. You just kind of got to say, how many cards are in your hand? 4? Okay, I'll pay 5 life. Or 6 life. So that your guys you can't make your guys bigger. But then it's just like, well, I had 4 lands in hand, so gotcha.
Matthew's going to be at a high life total, though. The entire match until it's over.
Right, so the life not that relevant.
His life total is going to go 20, 19, 18, 17 for about 20 turns, and then 0.
Yeah, he's going to deal himself a few damage with his fetch lands, and then Michael's going to get nasty with some Monastery Mentors.
And we're probably going to have to cut away if he's getting nasty with them Monastery Mentors.
You are right. That was one of the big pulls to playing the deck, is you can just go straight mid-range, but I don't know that in this matchup you want to side out the combo. Do you think that you can beat the card advantage of the Miracles deck? I mean, you do have a lot of card advantage yourself, but...
What kind of cards does it pull in when it gets rid of the combo?
Well, he's showing us. He's pulled out. It looks like he's taken out... No, is that what he's bringing in? That's what he's bringing in. He's taking out the Eternal Witness. A Jace? Was it Jace in that pile? A Jace is in the pile that he's bringing in, but was it Jace in the pile that he took out and he's just being silly? I didn't get a good look.
I did see that he's bringing in...
He did take out those Fatal Pushes.
He's bringing in a lot of Cabal therapies. I think
is fine. I'm not a fan of the Cabal therapies. I agree, the Nethonian. I think that they need the combo, which is why I don't think you're boarding out the Force of Wills. And maybe bringing in the Cabal therapies in that case is good, because you just want to make sure you're jamming your combo through. But...
Is this, insulin?
Yeah, looks like Michael needs his insulin.
Ouch.
Gross.
Taking one from this finger prick.
Michael gonna start this game at 19. That was bad. We're sorry, guys.
Yeah. My whole family has diabetes, so I'm used to it.
We're not sorry. Yeah, he did. He showed us the cards he sided out. He did show the cards he sided in. He showed both piles. One pile was full of Fatal Pushes. Had an Eternal Witness in there, which I'm really...
It took out the Eternal Witness and a Jace.
And I think he took out the Snapcaster Mage as well.
Yeah, does Snapcaster even belong in here in the first place?
No, it doesn't, but it feels like one of the better cards in the matchup. Being able to just snap Brainstorm, snap Ponder something. It gives you a little more card advantage, but...
Maybe he's trying to snap Fatal Push most of the time.
Yeah, when he's pulling the Fatal Pushes out, maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe he doesn't need... Just not very many hits to begin with. What? Murkickles.
Just don't test your glucose when your opponent has Sanguine Blood Exquisite combo in play. Because then they just go infinite and you lose.
Bond, yeah. Oh. Yeah, good thing we're not playing Commander, I guess. Alright. Magic the Shuffling. Oh, okay, good. I thought he was going to start pile shuffling. I was going to have to go there and, like, slap him.
Throws cards on the floor.
You don't play anymore!
There you go, they're shuffled!
Matthew, I had a conversation with him once. He was trying to convince me why pile shuffling was good.
Maybe he's sideboarding in Sign in Blood for the card advantage?
There's the Deathrite Shaman to start things out for Miracles. And let's see, Michael just... Basic Plains and a Swords to Plowshares, it looks like. Not even wanting to get the untap there. Michael's game plan here is he's just going to try to 1-for-1 as much as he can and gain as much card advantage from his Terminuses and his Predicts as possible.
Matthew unable to find the 21 on the 20-sided dice. Am I being too mean today?
Some things are deserved. Alright, let's see what's going to come from Matthew here. Misty Rainforest, and he's going to fetch that away immediately. He didn't check, though. Gotta be sure. You never know!
Checks his sideboard for that, the land he's trying to fetch. Doesn't find it there either. He is thorough.
Not wanting to put any blemishes on his undefeated record so far is Matthew. Making sure that he's every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
Every sideboard is checked for every fetch.
Every 20-sided dice is surge. Okay.
So he's at 19 plus 1.
Magic the Shuffling from Matthew.
Yeah, he's in 19 plus 1.
He is at 19 plus 1. That's why I don't like these dice, man.
Yeah.
Make sure that Matthew knows he's at 20. Call the judge over for death.
So I wonder what he named. Hopefully Brandon checks. Okay.
You're good.
Did you catch what he named on Cabal Therapy?
Shoot, I wasn't paying attention. I was just making sure he knew he was at 20.
Okay.
Did he cast the Cabal Therapy?
Yeah, he did. It whiffed.
Did it hit?
No.
It whiffed. Curious what he would have named there.
Guessing it wasn't any of those.
Very astute assumption,
Mhm.
the Nathonian. Why isn't he in the booth? The Nathonian.
Because he's in the chat.
Yeah. Guess we need better men in the chat. Us in line.
They commentate on the commentators, and then we commentate on the game.
Which
We worked
usually
all this out. Jorgensen, yeah.
I should be doing the yeah, that's what we were just saying. But we commentate on the game, they commentate on us, which usually ends up correcting what we said about the game. So why are we just not cutting the middleman and putting chat in the commentary?
Just have like a screen reader. Just the Nathaniel says, "I'm the commentator now."
Michael's reaching for his volcanic island, trying to decide what he's going to do. Gonna guess it's a cantrip, and it's a ponder. So he's going to go looking. 3 cards. Force of Will and Shuffle Out Away.
Yeah, easy shuffle. I don't know what
Looks
it was.
like Force of Will and a couple lands, but only saw it for a second.
Probably too many lands or something.
It was unexciting. Alright. And a draw from Michael. Looks like a Tundra.
Probably not what he wanted.
He looks like he's got 3 lands in his hand now with that Tundra.
A little bit much, isn't it?
Scalding Tard and Basic Island.
Is that a Jace? I think
I believe
it was.
it's a Force of Will.
Oh no, yeah, okay.
Maybe there's a Jace. I know I see a Force of Will.
There's definitely a Force of Will. I was thinking
a
behind that.
Brainstorm.
Kappa.
Get out of here, Nathanielin. Nathonian. Nathanielin. Oh man.
The Nathanielian.
The Nathonian. Very astute. That would be some next level stuff though if he started producing blue mana with that plains.
Pretty next level.
It's like a brainstorm from Matthew in the main phase. Is that where we're at? I believe we're in the
I think that's the end step.
The end step. Okay.
Michael's end step.
Yeah. No, 2 cards, not 3, Matthew.
Decidedly better.
I mean, I guess if you want to put 3 back, I'm sure Michael won't mind.
Not legal.
The highest of tides. Oh man. We need you here next week for sure,
No,
Nathonian.
that was in Matthew's
That was
turn.
main phase, so it looks like he might have drawn the brainstorm, was just looking for that land.
And he whiffed, so he's brainstorm locked?
He's brainstorm locked for a couple turns.
Looks like Michael's gonna go undefeated. Like if he's brainstorm locked and he doesn't have anything relevant now,
Well,
what do you anticipate happening?
if Michael doesn't have a lot of pressure either, depending on what those other cards in Matthew's hands are.
I guess that's true. It's all gotta be action.
Yeah, and we know that Michael's got a lot of lands. He's kind of glutted with lands, and it looks like he played a Flooded Strand, which was not one of the 3 lands in his hand last turn.
But has that forest been there all along?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was on 2 land, but
So
I think
did
I think his
Wow.
hand was over top of
Uh-oh.
it.
Was he trying to make there? A Glintness Crane. That's a decent one to get yourself out of a brainstorm lock.
Definitely.
It looks like he sees a Shardless Agent is the hit. The other card's going away.
It's a pretty good card against miracles, I want to say.
Yeah, the Shardless Agent is a great card against miracles.
If that can hit...
It's lost a bit of luster without hitting the Abrupt Decay, but when you're not trying to hit the counterbalance, do you care?
True.
Probably just want to hit a Baleful Strix, right?
Or an extra Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, anything, and you just, name what kills you. It's like Matthew's going to play Magic the Shuffling even when he's not shuffling his deck. Just going to shuffle.
hand?
Just got to shuffle his hand. Matthew just needs to shuffle. And an untap for Michael, and he'll take a draw. Looked like a blue card of some kind. I love Glintness Crane in the deck. I played Alern for a little while. Granted, you don't have a lot of hits, so when you're playing the Naked Crane, you often just miss. But when you have the Alern and the Harpy going, it is your most efficient way to get the combo off.
Vendilion clicks.
Out of Michael.
Out of Michael, and he...
Interesting. Yeah, great.
It meets a brainstorm, I assume to hide away some cards that he doesn't want put on the bottom of his library.
But he would prefer to draw off of the Vendilion Click's ability as well. So a lot of times you get into the point with Alurin, though, where your life total becomes really relevant for if you're going to find the combo or not. If you've just got the Harpy and, say, a Baleful Strix, because you're only looking at the one card. But when you've got when you've got the Glintness Crane and you look at 4 cards for every 1 life, you get there.
So Force of Will pitching that Shardless Agent to get rid of that that Vendilion Click.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that click either if I was him. Yeah. Michael doing a good job of representing the stack for us here. And there's a Brainstorm for Michael. And this is main phase, right? Or end step? I believe end step.
Arid Mesa puts a card back I didn't quite see.
Didn't quite see either. Let's see what's going to go away. And I imagine that there... Oh, so this was main phase. I do prefer main phasing your Brainstorms as opposed to end stepping them. If your plan is to just put 2 cards away that you don't want. I mean, unless you want to draw it and you feel like you need your mana.
Yeah. He had an extra fetch land there.
Yeah, and he had the fetch land in play too. Here's a Deathrite Shaman, a swing for 1. Michael falling to 18. And there's the Terminus.
Yeah, that one goes there too.
Oh, the force on the Vendilion Click.
It's gonna hit an Abrupt Decay, and which is gonna whiff. He's not even gonna cast it. That feels bad.
That feels real bad, man. Wrecked. Yeah, wrecked. I mean, a 3-mana 2/2, not that exciting.
Duh, Earthquake. All right. Well,
let me go fix this and yell at somebody.
Someone has big feet. Sounds like it was one of the players out there, and they're apologizing. Every time there's one of these earthquakes, I'm afraid that Yellowstone is going to explode, and there's going to be a nuclear winter that Utah's going to be incredibly close to.
Is that a little more centered?
It's really far off on
Michael.
The vertical. You want to come look at it real quick?
Yeah, so I probably need to get it closer to the table, right?
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah. What side is that? So I need to pull. I need to pull it away from the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flooded Strand, and it looks like he's going to go for a Jace the Mind Sculptor. I heard that with Yellowstone, it's going to put at least 10 feet of. I got it.
Is that better?
Cool. But I've heard with Yellowstone, it's going to put 10 feet of ash when it explodes.
Oh!
Where we're living. And there could be...
Yeah, Yellowstone's going to kill us.
Yeah. I was just saying with these earthquakes, I'm scared that Yellowstone's going to erupt.
Ponder for Michael. 3 cards. It looks like a Terminus, a Brainstorm.
You're in the Bahamas! You, live there?
Here we are in lovely Salt Lake City.
It's a generous word.
And the Thonian is chilling in the Bahamas. Monastery Mentor. And uptick the Jace, he's going to Fate Seal.
Likes that. Gives it to him.
See what it was. Looks like a Polluted Delta. Cavern Harpy in the hand for Matthew?
Uh-huh. Definitely.
Curious why he would want to cast that. Maybe just afraid of it getting forced.
Okay.
Well, enjoy your vacation then, Athonian. Thank you for joining us while you're on your vacation. They're not that crazy. No, that's a lie. Utah Mormons are crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm a crazy Mormon myself, but yeah, maybe he's just afraid of a counterspell. But I mean,
It's a little
if
bit.
Michael's going to have the counterspell now, he's going to have it later. I like just jamming your spells at this point, trying to, the worst that can happen is it resolves and you rebuy your Shardless Agent.
I think
right?
that
Or
he can.
the best. But
If he can hit any creature, he's going to be able to Cabal Therapy, and then the Cavern Harpy's going to hit.
Satan is in a can of Mountain Dew. That's not true. As my father tells me, Mountain Dew is the elixir of life.
It's in coffee. Yes.
Satan is in coffee?
Yeah, Satan's in coffee.
I can buy that one.
Okay.
Coffee is stank.
See?
Anyway, let's get back on track here. Matt is super dead. I think that you are super right. As Michael's going to go reaching for some mana. It's a predict trigger on his mentor and his monks. He's going to name Terminus and draw 2 cards.
Yeah, when you're just milling your Terminus because you don't care about it anymore.
Going to separate
Oh
the
my.
summoning sick monks with the non-summoning sick monks. I imagine that this could probably just be lethal here with the amount of cards that Michael has in hand.
I was off on my life total by 2. It went 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 0.
Well, how many triggers is that there?
We're at 2
so far. There's a brainstorm. I know that there's 2 swords to plowshares. Oh, he's going to force his brainstorm
Yeah.
just to get 2 more triggers.
Pitches the counterspell.
You know, and if he has another way to draw, he can always just draw swords and swords one of his other guys. Well, I guess not. That was just lethal. So Michael,
winner of the...
gonna not drop a game? No, he lost his game 1 against Lands.
Oh, okay. If that's what you meant.
He lost
yeah.
game 1 against Lands, but other than that, not gonna drop a single game.
We're gonna head over to this other.
Let's jump over to Paul on Lands and Jordan on Alurin. Storm count 4. Yeah. Actually, this looks like different people. No, this is the same guys. It's the same guys. That's Paul. Paul. Every time I hear Paul now, I just want to do that.
It's either
Didn't see the tutor for tendrils.
It's either Paul. No, this is the Maverick player, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is.
Whoever
I guess
that
Paul's
was.
match is over. And I'm gonna assume,
Paul.
who is this player? This looks like the same Alurin player, just playing with somebody else. So it looks like we've got Alurin and Maverick. I'm trying to remember what the Maverick player's name was. I don't want to go ask him. Unless chat demands it, then I'll think about it. But
Yeah, we're a slave to chat, but other than that, I'm also a slave to my laziness.
so Sylvan Library out of Jordan, or
Do you like the Maverick deck? I'm constantly harping on it how I don't like it.
I'm bizarre because I really love the mid-range decks in Legacy. I played Punishing Jund, I played Alurin. I think they lost a lot of traction when Miracles got hurt, losing the counterbalance in the top. Because I think that was one of your best matchups. You could just prey on the counterbalance decks. But
So there's a Wasteland cutting Jordan off from black. Definitely the color you want to cut him off from, I feel like.
Belcher. Is that a mid-range? Oh, you love mid-range aggro deck because you play Belcher. That took me a minute. It's like, Belcher's not an aggro deck, is it?
Rainbow Kappa?
Okay. Nathonian, you are right.
I loved it. It's not good. Brainstorm is busted.
Like I said, I have a weird obsession with these mid-range decks in Legacy. I like them, but Why the hell are you not playing Brainstorm, man?
Well,
Come on.
dude. There's nothing wrong with Death and Taxes. You're paying like $1,000 for dual lands to not just play Plains.
It's true. Death and Taxes is quite good. There are some good non-Brainstorm decks in the format, but come on. We're playing Legacy, man. You gotta play Brainstorm.
No. You gotta play Brainstorm or something that directly attacks the Brainstorm, like Thalia.
Sure.
Or Sanctum Prelate and all that.
Yeah, Maverick is popular when Delver and D&T are popular, and Delver is probably the most represented deck in the meta in all its various forms.
Yeah.
Right? So that gives you some good insurance. And the Delver decks keep the Storm decks under control, which are probably your bane. Right? Like, I mean, you can get there with your Cabal Therapies and your Thought Seizes in Game 2 when you have your Surgicals.
You're just a little bit slow against all combo.
Yeah, but sometimes you just, you don't have it. But I mean, sometimes you Thought Seize their Emrakul when they're on Omni Sneak and then Surgical it in response to their trigger and they scoop.
It's just so dang fair. And it's like...
Dang fair.
Ah, no.
Yeah. It is fair. Too fair, but...
And we don't know what round this is on. Somebody has won.
They just started a random game. These aren't the real players.
Okay.
The real players, Jordan and Paul on lands, they're done.
Okay.
But this is just a match. They're just... I guess they're just playing for funsies, and they probably don't even know they're on camera right now at all. I mean, except for the fact that they're playing under the camera.
Yeah.
But
the Glint Nest Crane.
Looks like a Shardless Agent.
Yeah.
Cascading, we will go.
That's
Abrupt Decay.
Ooh, that's probably what that
Wow.
Glint Nest Crane hit, I want to say. And then...
Game 1, you're definitely a dog with these mid-range decks against combo, but Game 2, you can bring in a lot in terms of the Surgical Extractions, Graveyard Hate in its various forms.
As which deck?
Just any of these Maverick or mid-rangey type decks. You're a dog Game 1, really. You can interact, but Game 2 is when things actually, I think, get close to favorable for you.
Speaking of dog, what is this?
That looks like a clue token, as he played a Tireless Tracker and then made a land drop.
It's a Blues Clues token. I get it.
Oh wow! I didn't get that. I just knew what it was representing. But that's funny. It's a clue. And a draw. It's a Misty Rainforest. Gonna immediately put that into the graveyard. Gonna miss his library trigger though, but his opponent's gonna say just take it. As anytime you can make Tracker, resolve it, and have priority to make your land drop, it's always good. But if you can untap with it after making your first clue token, that's when it gets nutty.
Anytime you resolve Tracker, you're going to have priority.
Right.
Yeah, just saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Like when you resolve Tracker and have priority to make your land drop.
Okay, so
right?
and you haven't made your land drop per turn?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess that's all what I'm trying to say, but not that sometimes you don't have priority after you resolve a spell.
Is he rereading his own... No, that's the other player.
Oh, is this an RK Post Blues Clues token?
I think that's what those borders are RK Post tokens.
Okay, that's really cool. Alright, sure, Nathonian. Yeah, if you're just gonna be dead when you make the Tireless Tracker, I don't think it matters at that point. But
any spell feels bad if you just lose right after.
Yeah, any spell is not good if
he's
you just
got so many cards
lose.
in his hand that this token isn't. Well, any of these tokens aren't going to matter for turns and turns and turns.
Looks like we are rolling here with the Shardless Agent and the Cavern Harpy just going to town on Maverick player's end step.
There's a free Brainstorm.
I think that you want to keep that Baleful Strix, put those two big cards on top, flicker the Shardless Agent again, so that you can get those two cards off of the top of your library. I think it was an Allure and a Force of Will.
Yeah.
And now you've got the Shardless or the Baleful Strix in your hand, where now with 17 life, you're probably going to hit here. And finding Leovold, Brainstorm, and something else. Oh my heck. Should I go and tell him? You need to present your cut every time you resolve your Shardless agent. Curious that he's still just going with the Shardless agent. At this point, I almost just want to start making the Baleful Strix.
Why? Is it so that so that you find
well,
your...
because the Shardless agent can't hit the combo piece.
Yeah.
The Parasitic Strix is 3. So if he hits the Parasitic Strix, he's just going to move right through it.
You're right.
Once you've found another piece to keep going, an engine piece, the Shardless agent's your worst one because it can't finish your combo.
So he sees a Leovold.
So I think it's really odd that he's still just going with the Shardless agent when he has 2 Baleful Strix in hand.
He could just make enough guys.
Maybe he's not even caring. What's 17 life?
Okay.
Yeah, the Shardless can hit the cantrips. Sure.
So last second he just.
I guess he
just
had it in hand, or did he draw that off the Baleful
No,
Strix?
I think he drew that off the Baleful Strix. It was just okay. I'm going to start drawing off of this now. Oh, it's my top card.
Yeah, the cantrips are better at digging than Chthonian, but how do you know you're going to hit the cantrip? You still can hit the combo piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you're thinking that everything's as random as it is and its variance, like you can hit the cantrips, but then you can also
how many cards 2 or under do you have in your deck is a question. Because at some point, can't you reorder the Cascade cards in any order you want?
I mean, if you have that much life to work with, sure.
And then you just pretty much go through your entire deck and get all of the 2 or under drops out of your deck, especially using your cantrips for free, and at some point
you definitely see more
your whole
cards.
deck.
You definitely see more cards by cascading.
They're
but
supposed to be shuffled? Okay.
yeah, you shuffle them and put them in a random order on the bottom.
Okay.
That's why Chthonian was joking, or Jorgensen was joking earlier about him not presenting his piles to be cut before he put them on the bottom.
I didn't understand that at all. You want to wrap this up? I think there's only 3 rounds, so I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we are done. We don't want to watch Calvin play again.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Thank you for watching. I think the next tournament we're going to have is on Tuesday.
Legacy, the next Legacy stream will be on Tuesday. I believe
For sure.
that they stream Standard on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Their judge classes are streamed live on Wednesday. Thursday, Modern, maybe? Maybe there's just nothing?
I think Thursday right now there's no streaming.
No streaming, and then Friday back to Legacy again. So, thank you all for joining us here tonight in lovely Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Brandon.
I'm Sean. From all the heroes here, have a good week.